Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight you're joining us for our coverage of ECAC Overwatch. Boise State is looking to go up against Bethel and continue on their winning streak lately in this division. How will they do against a team which is supposedly top 500? We will have to see as we're ready to load into the action. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined by Artemis Rain calling all of the action for you tonight. And so the main thing that I just mentioned about Bethel was that we're looking forward is that this team might be a top 500 team, but the proof is in the pudding, so they speak. So what are the things you look out for in gameplay that tells you, okay, they're top 500? What should we watch out for?
So, of course, you know, best of 5 series, there's a lot of wiggle room. There's a couple extra lives. There's space to, you know, understand, like, how a team likes to play, what comp they like to play, and how they're comfortable. And by, you know, game 3, if you're still losing, you should start recognizing where there's mistakes. I mean, we're all human. People make mistakes. There's a lot of greedy play that comes out from the Broncos. And they're definitely not afraid to try and make the ego plays, but it is easily punishable. So if a team starts recognizing these rotations that are coming out, the awkward flanks that we see sometimes coming out from the Broncos, easily they can capitalize on those. Now, in the words of one of our own Bronco players, though, and of course I'm throwing shade because I'm biased, this is our home team, was they're top 500, but if they're not top 8, I'm not sweating it. I'm not going to name that player. But in other news, it's also our retirement game for Frost, Garrett. Yep. It is also his birthday. So, of course, I'm going to be saying the Broncos are going to win, and they're going to win in a 3-0 sweep fashion. There's going to be no question about it because it is Garrett's birthday.
Well, if it is a 3-0 sweep to be had, then that means it is a best-of-5 game, 5v5. Modes are going to be control, hybrid, push, escort, and then control not play. Should it go to a game 5? Of course, one of these things that we will talk about, of course, it being Overwatch 2, is the meta that we've all come to know and know. But for right now, we will just go to Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2, take fights in unexpected places. Don't make positioning mistakes. Win your 1v1s and win fights before objectives. It's all brought to us by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games online to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Alrighty, we can also take a look at the lineup that we will have for this match. It's going to be brought to you by Count. Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, enables personalized customer experiences from more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Nerdy's got the giggles all of a sudden. What's catching your eye about this lineup?
Robert Pharisee is our Halo player. While he does share an in-game name with Goblin, one of our own Overwatch players, that is not Goblin. I know Rob, and I know Goblin. We can see Garrett, though, there on the far left, who is our birthday boy today. So happy birthday to you, Garrett. I don't remember how old you are, my friend. I think we're almost the same age. I'm pretty sure he's 24 or 25.
1 foot in the grave, essentially.
Wow! Yeah, production just said as well, because I'm that old.
Hey, I'm older, okay? Okay, I'm saying that from a position where I'm older.
We don't have 1 foot in the grave.
I know, but you're going to go through that quarter-life crisis, so.
I already did, man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, then I'll lighten the mood just a little bit, although I don't know how much of a mood.
Considering the sigh I had earlier.
Yeah. Do we really want to talk about the Sojourn Reaper show that has been just this meta?
This meta, I mean, it was hilarious because I'm playing competitive, you know, Sunday night, Monday night. People like, they're literally counting down the hours, like when people are playing the hard Zarya meta, and they're like, can't wait to see the mighty fall when Zarya gets nerfed and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like giggling because I'm like, you know that a nerf comes out every 4 weeks. It's not going to matter. You're going to be saying the same thing about the next meta. Lo and behold, Tuesday rolls around and Blizzard's like, hey, by the way, you know that nerf? It's not happening yet. You're not getting Mei back yet either. But we're going to put a skin for Mei in the shop. You just can buy it and then you can't play her. With that being said, in the standard meta right now is Zarya, but the true kings of the game.
You are going to look so cool on the practice range with that skin.
Eventually, yeah. Eventually that $20 will kind of be well spent. I say kind of because it is just a cosmetic, but at the end of the day, cosmetics win you games because you're happy.
Those don't abide by the simple rules of supply and demand.
Exactly.
They have their own economics to themselves. Well, first match is going to be Oasis that we are playing on. What of the 3 flavors of Oasis are you most wanting to see?
So I would love to see us start out on City Center. And the reason why I want to start on Sydney Setter is because, okay, the first 3 maps, because these are predetermined, there's no picking. It's going to be Oasis going into Scrims Row, so really ever a second map, and then we're going to Junkertown. But for the sub-maps here of Oasis, I want to see City Center first, and that is because it's going to tell us whether or not Bethel, the college we're going against, is capable of playing the next meta. And that next meta is the Winston, Kiriko, Lucio. And while Lucio, Kiriko is still, the dynamic duo for supports with the Zarya, the Winston gameplay can still be forced by those who know how to play Winston.
All right, and we see also here that might just be a slip because I don't see. Oh, nope, it isn't, in fact. We do have all 5 maps being brought out here, and the push map determined, and then going back to Lijon Tower should it head back to that.
Some Esperanza.
Esperanza.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that one. I mean, that one does still favor the Zarya gameplay. The high ground, the variations in elevation for that map aren't as dynamic as some of the other maps that we do see, so it's not as Winston-friendly, but I feel like if you're looking to flip the fight when you lose the bot, and you're looking to take it right at the mid where the bot originally starts, the Winston's the way to go.
Also, Esperanza just reminds me of how much apparently Blizzard and Overwatch 2 has a fascination with streetcars. Because Esperanza has them, Toronto has them, the new Brazil map has them. I mean, the real question is, what new stage is not going to have a streetcar at this point?
I'm waiting for the day that Overwatch players finally realize you can get shot from underneath the car. People don't seem to realize that even that you can see their feet. That means you can get shot. And I have a lot of people who are like, how did I die? I'm like, there's this gap.
Mind, as they say on metros, mind the gap.
It's right there for a reason.
All right. But we won't get into that situation quite yet because we've got Oasis to deal with
There's cars on Oasis.
There are cars. Yeah, you can walk right into them.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, those ones you can walk right into. But there are some right out the spot. But we are going to get University first.
Or this could be, I do believe.
Oh yeah, this could be our.
This is just our highlight video showing every single stage that is available. So yeah, this is one of the stages, and of course there were the cars we were mentioned talking about. Alrighty, we are going to Gardens, it looks like.
Gardens is a very friendly map to both play styles. We'll have to wait and see. Possibly, though, and I'm not trying to send shade out, but if we do run out on the Junker Queen, just because I know Matt Merck is capable of running Junker Queen, it wouldn't surprise me. The JQ meta is dead, though, and that would just be the Broncos flexing a little bit to make Gart happy on his birthday.
And, hey, sometimes you just got to make someone feel good on their birthday. But, yeah, the Winston is going to be brought out if we are to judge by the silhouettes. And pretty standard DPS as well with the Sojourn and Reaper.
See, this is where the research comes into play here. Bethel probably doesn't have a Reaper player. We have big J5 running in on that Tracer. And you need the Reaper to counter the Winston and the Sojourns to counter the Reaper. So Tracer kind of not in a good position here.
Frost is just looking out for this Tracer, is going to force the Rico out. Boise State making a whole lot of space for themselves. Going to capture the point first with 1 on it, and now Bethel is going to be sent back to spawn, looking to retake.
Now the question is, where did the Broncos set up? We've got Slide already forced out from Sojourn. That was Plato. Chosen still has Swift Steps, so they can take an angle here and be aggressive for a moment, be a little bit cheeky. Let's see how long they stay there. They will not overstay their welcome. No abilities even used yet for the Broncos, and they already take down big J5.
Clear also putting a bit of damage onto the Sojourn. Bagel is going to be able to win the battle of the Lucios, and the eliminations just keep on rolling for the Broncos. Space Marine and Dawson taken out. One of their members trying to get back to spawn. Will we be able to outrun them? We have a lucky battle. Will he brings out the Primal Rage. This Reaper's trying to get right in his face, but that's a lot of health you got to burn through. They're all just going to be sent back to spawn.
Clear just Primals right in front. We are a fight and a half basically into this game, and we already forced Primal from Clear, but it was used so early. We have Kitsune Rush from Dawson. The response from Chosen means that this is a fair fight. They can take it right here. The question is who has the better aim and who is focusing targets the most. It looks like the Broncos are going to be the first ones to find a pick, but Clear goes down. So Lucio Death versus our main tank going down. We have to respond with V to that Death Blossom. Broncos still maintaining a foothold.
Broncos, despite losing one, are going to be looking to keep the score going for as long as possible, at least make it past 70 as Big J5 picks up a double. Quizby also eliminating Bagel means this is probably Bethel's point. 76% for the Boise State Broncos. Not a bad showing. Chosen? Yeah, he is going to be able to heal up.
Chosen did have to use that Suzu though, so it's on cooldown. If there's aggression right here from Bethel, it could be disastrous. It is going to come back online. Also, that ability to wall climb, that passive for Kiriko, coming in clutch there to keep Chosen alive, getting on that high ground. With no one really being able to do damage right there and then dropping down to get that Mega. We have Frost going to the high ground, looking to do a Death Blossom here. Winston, jump and bubble both used. Now forcing Kiriko Swift Step. Beat is down. This is an opportunity, a couple more seconds, and it's going to die off. We can see a huge Death Blossom come out. We see it, takes one, takes the other, and Frost is going to flip the fight in favor of the Broncos.
That is everyone gone from Bethel. Team wipe for the Broncos. Now the question is this one last recontest as we pass 80%? Will Boise State be able to hold off Bethel? This Railgun Ultimate can allow players to pop off, so Boise State supports and DPSs their squishies better make sure their sight lines are on point, because especially with this Kitsune coming online, it could be trouble for the Broncos. We have Kitsune as well as Overclock coming in, but Space Marine goes down to Plato, who didn't even use theirs. Now Chosen getting close to their ultimate. Plato has Overclock clear. He's got to pop that Primal Rage. Plato uses Overclock. There's two on the point, getting thrown around by the angry clear on that Winston. Lucio goes down. Chosen goes down. Beat is dropped by Bagel. This should be an opportunity, but Broncos need to clean up quickly. Clear moves right in to get into the face of Dawson, who still manages to survive for a little while longer before Plato finishes him off. Space Marine is fighting back, getting the pick onto Plato, but Clear deals with him as the Broncos now looking to have the overtime timer run out. One more person for Bethel on the point. This Lucio trying to stall things out by any means possible, with the Kitsune brought out by Boise State. And a last-minute Hail Mary Death Blossom from Big J5. It's not going to be enough to turn around the point. Broncos take the first stage. I want to give a shout out there to Bagel on that Lucio. Probably was discussed that Reaper had Death Blossom, and that was the last-ditch effort, was to drop in after Lucio got stalling out there as long as he could. But as soon as that Reaper came in, there was a boop, and that Death Blossom became useless. All right, so the pilots fall, and Broncos get the first victory, but they need to get one more stage as we move over to City Center. And I think you were really on point talking about, you know, the passive climb ability for Kiriko, because when you think about it, every stage on Oasis is a two-tiered stage. There's high ground on every single point. I personally adore the Kiriko's passive ability to climb, because it's like she's the only support that can do that. I mean, like, yes, Mercy has the Guardian Angel, but it's just so different to be like, oh my gosh, I can actually get up there without having to require anyone else. But now we've got Clear coming out on the battle cattle here. No Winston in sight for the Broncos just yet. Taking that lift and using Spear Spin, trying to go for an environmental, doesn't find it, and whiffs on the Javelin throw. That's unfortunate. All three cooldowns forced out for Clear immediately. Boise State might be trying to flex a bit, but they're only going to be able to bring Bethel's players down to about half health. Big J5 hangs in there to take out Frost. Clear trades it back 1-for-1, but Clear is going to be taken by Space Marine. So Bethel now up 1 in this engagement, using it to move over toward the point, secure it, and force Boise State to respawn and retake. Bagel has to make a decision to go help Plato or just play the Reddit Frog in the sky and bait the Winston jump. He does that, goes back, meets up with Frost and Clear. We are currently down our Sojourn, our one-hit, one-kill busted hero currently, so just biding time and creating space. Broncos, knowing if they use cooldowns, it could spell disasters. We have Clear jump in, immediately uses Bubble, but they're going to proc that point to start turning over. Someone has to challenge. No cooldowns used just yet for the side of Bethel. This could be a retake, but they've forced them immediately in front of the Broncos. Not a good sign. We have a bit of a battle between the Reapers, which Frost is going to win. Dawson trying to push things back in favor of Bethel, but Boise State still up 1. Chosen is taken out right before their Kitsune. Dawson rips his for Bethel, trying to retake or at least stall this out for Bethel. They're going to get past 45%, barely, maybe 50 is on the table. Does look like that is going to be the case, as Boise State is still trying to secure at this point 2-4. Bethel might have found a way to hang in there, actually, with that Kitsune. Kuda is eliminating Bagel. With that, a very long, drawn-out fight, not going in favor for the Broncos. Broncos made the mistake of engaging before our Sojourn got there, as well as overstaying their welcome and not resetting that fight. We lost basically a whole fight's worth of percentage. Death Blossom comes out. It's going to pick up 2 now. Broncos need to reset. That's
Kiriko, Reaper, and Sojourn all down for the Broncos. We are in last fight territory. They have basically every ult in the game minus Primal Rage. That's fine. Side of Bethel only has beat and overclock, so if they beat early, slight disengage, re-engage with Bagel's beat or Kitsune. Easy opportunity for the Broncos. Let's just hope they don't over-ult this engage.
Clock ticks past 90% for Bethel. Will Broncos be able to retake? They start with the Kitsune. Beat brought out in response from Bethel. Not too much damage being exchanged between either team so far. They're going to try to change that with both overclocks being brought out. One click onto Big J5 and he has gone. But the Sojourn from Bethel is still a remaining threat. Kuda now eliminated for Bethel. That's 2 down and enough space for Boise State to take the point at 99%.
We have the slow come out from Plato as we have Clear also trying to just maintain spatial control. Did use their jump to retreat back towards their team. Looks like Bethel not waiting on everyone to group up. No cooldowns being forced just yet. Trying to go towards that coastline. Jump and bubble both expelled. Broncos barely use anything in response. Gates, that Kitsune rush being dropped. Broncos just walking away from it, getting ready to re-engage with this Beth Blossom from Frost. Suzu's been used. This is an opportunity to drop it. He's looking for it. Can he grab 2 again? He'll get pretty gosh darn close.
Oh, not going to be able to find it. He's going to have to find it with just a good old-fashioned left click, but Clear is doing all the work here, picking up a double. Chosen and Bagel also getting 1 pick. There's just 1 left. The Reaper bites the dust. That is a team wipe for the Broncos. Now they're going to go north of 50%. Still a long way to go, however.
Chosen used Kitsune Rush at the start of that fight and is already at 80%. So nicely done there on getting the ults back in the Broncos' favor. They're going to have Kitsune Rush, Overclock, and that Primal Rage, whereas it's basically Primal and maybe Death Blossom for Bethel if this fight is a long one. They're going to engage with Primal in space, which is an interesting choice. Gives a lot of opportunities for the Broncos to spread back out. They will lose Frost and Bagel. This could spell disasters. Chosen is dangerously low in their health pool, so a Clear responds with their own Primal. Possibly this Kitsune Rush could be enough for Plato's sustain, but it's getting real close, real hairy.
Ooh, a clutch right click on that railgun. It might not be enough, however, there is still 1 Bronco contesting, but they've got their work cut out from going up against a beat and an overclock. Now Death Blossom coming online for a Bethel. 1 right click onto Bagel. Clear is now trying to make some space, but Kuda goes back to the safety of his own team. It is going to go to 99-99, but the Broncos, are they going to win this team fight? It looks like they're a bit wanting in that department, but still managing to draw it out as Plato slides right onto the point, not able to take anyone out. Bagel is trying his best, but he isn't gonna fall. Bethel looks like they're gonna take this map, but Boise State is doing everything they can to stall this out. Kitsune Rush brought out from Dawson, secures it for Bethel. We're 1-1. Now heading over to, you quoted University, I'm quoted Library. Are those both acceptable?
Yeah, either way, it works. We all know what we're talking about, but I think here the mistake made by the Broncos was pulling out the battle cattle.
Yeah, they definitely were trying to go for the statement play, trying to just rush them right off of the point, but that ultimately led to Bethel. They only needed to take the point once to get up to 99%, and it's just kind of, that's a snowball that's not in your favor. The first team fight gets out of control.
Yeah, let's hope we just stick with the Winston, Kiriko, Lucio play here. If Bethel makes the same mistake and pulls out an off-meta hero, maybe a Sombra, but don't go with the Tracer. That's going to be disasters. Yeah, they're going to go with the Reaper instead. Full meta versus full meta. It's fine to be meta slaves. The game's currently broken in its current state. It's a matter of who claims the spacing properly here, and going Tiny Room to play Tiny Overwatch is never the answer, as we just saw Winston goes down for Bethel.
Frost just tearing right through that massive tank health bar. Boise State now making some space for themselves, pushing back up to the choke. That Reaper tries to get away with the Wraith. Bethel's only going to be held to 1 down. Now that Winston is back and ready to fight, Boise State takes the point for themselves. Will Bethel be able to engage past the choke and get on the point? Or will they go Tiny Room again? One of them's trying to flank over. Still no successful picks for either team. Kind of fighting with pool noodles at the moment. Just whacking each other a lot.
The important thing to remember is that everything but the Winstons is pretty standard for what you see in ladder as far as meta goes, and that is the the adjustment being the Zarya, but the Zarya being incorporated into the composition makes it more of a brawl-heavy comp, whereas the Winston is still a dive tank. You require space. So putting yourself in a tiny little room means you're cutting off angles, and you are allowing the other team to surround and conquer you. And that was the first mistake Bethel made. They did manage to flip the fight back in their favor, but Broncos are leading slightly as far as ults go, and if they ult in space and ult early here, they have the opportunity to take this back fairly quick.
The way to victory for Bethel is what they did last map as well, just holding that point for as long as possible. They got 99% of out of the first. Boise State has a whole bunch of ultimates to try to change that. Both Kitsune's brought out and overclocked by Boise State. No picks to speak of quite yet, but Space Marine very low on health. Death Blossom brought out by Big J5. Boise State just gets out of the way and clear, tearing into Space Marine. Both DPS is down for Bethel. Now their tank is just the supports left, and that is going to have to be a point given up to the Broncos.
I really want to give credit to the supports there from the Broncos. Both times when they were responding to ultimates, they gave it the 1 banana, 2 banana, or 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi count, knowing their team was going to be able to sustain, and then responded with their own ultimates, giving them just a slightly larger time advantage for the Kitsune rush to be surviving longer than the enemy's Dawson's Kitsune, and then the beat sustaining through the Death Blossom and also sustaining through the cleanup.
Speaking of Dawson, immediately picked off. Now, here goes Frost. Birthday Man with the ultimate. We'll see how he can do with that, but right now, Boise State is just making time for themselves. They're waiting for the full recontest from Bethel. Here we go now. I want to see how this Death Blossom turns out. There we go. Can we make it a happy birthday for Frost? He is just waiting for the right moment and blow out the candles. There's one, and we're going to have to wait for just one as a very savage overclock back in his face, and Primal Rage as well, making space for Bethel. But Boise State, crucially, still has control of the point, is going to make it past that crucial 80% marker. So it's just one more team fight in their favor.
Take note, anyone who's watching for stalling out, Bagel took the attention of 3 people while Clear chilled outside the point. Their health was a little bit low, but it wasn't drastic and scary, and they just waited. They didn't make any noise. They waited until Bagel died, and then they re-engaged. That bought, I think, an extra 10 seconds between the two of them. Extra 10%. That is huge. Now, Kitsune Rush is all that's online for Bethel, whereas we have Kitsune Rush almost beat. There's Overclock, and we're going to see Primal Rage this fight. Broncos' economy is in their favor. Can they capitalize on it is the question. Lots of cooldowns already used from Bethel. This is the opportunity to engage using response Kitsune Rush from Chosen.
Big J5 just getting right into Plato's face. Delay railgun shots from that overclock. Now Clear has Primal Rage built up, is going to use it. Plato taking out Quizby, the tank down for Bethel. Boise State is in a good spot here to keep control of this point. Kuda is next on the list. Bethel moving back, but I don't know if they have time for a full team recontest, especially if a stagger is brought out here. The Wraith form trying to get away. He's back up to full health, but is melted right now by Frost and Bagel. Now just, they're not even going to get to the point. Boise State takes it, gets the first stage.
All right, that's map 1. Now we go to the only ever second map that exists in the realm of Overwatch, and that is King's Row. But before we get to see a gorgeous play of the game, my question is this an overclock or is this a railgun shot to start this? And it is a railgun. I do love seeing that.
Just really seems like the whole design philosophy with the new heroes is just eat your heart out. It's like to Widowmaker, I can just take people out in one click, and I have all this mobility. And it's like, Hanzo, hey, I can climb up now. You're no longer the only one who can crawl up walls. So it really is, every new hero is just saying, eat your heart out to an old one, it seems.
Most definitely. I mean, my personal favorite thing I've ever seen so far, and this is credited to someone in the audience, I won't call them out on it, was how Blizzard's currently, making patches and fixing bugs. Someone said there's currently a game-breaking bug with Sojourn. She currently does one-shot headshot kills, and that needs to be fixed. I thought it was the most hilarious thing I've read in a long time.
It's a bit of a problem.
But I mean, like, if you're good at aiming, which her projectile on the rail is just a little bit too high, it's quite large. It's hard to not get the target with that one.
Now,
it's dirty.
I believe we heard from production, and production, I just want to make sure I'm right, we have a special message. Am I correct in hearing that?
Yes.
We do, from our very own Doc Haskell, because we are talking about it is Frost's Day right now.
Yes,
so let's see what our own
birthday.
Doc Haskell has to say.
Gart looks completely unfazed, totally blissfully unaware. Uh-oh. He's at the airport. Doc, we can't hear you. Doc.
Well, it looks like Frost is going to remain unfazed for
Yep,
the next
that
few
makes
seconds.
sense.
Yeah. It just sometimes happens.
Yeah. We got Plato who's like, bro, they're talking about you. And Guard's like,
I'm
yeah,
sure,
I know.
I'm sure if I could hear what they were saying, it would be very heartfelt.
I don't know about that. I think you're overestimating
Maybe
our team.
I think too much of Doc.
I think you think too much of the boys on
Okay,
stage.
yeah, maybe. Okay, it looks like we might be ready for a reset here. Yeah, here we go.
Doc, I still can't hear you.
We'll call you back.
Okay. I heard the doom word from the production room one more time, so we might be going, I don't know. I don't know. Fool me once, fool me twice.
I mean, we can keep trying until we get it right.
We can keep trying.
I mean, worst comes to worst is that, I'm pretty sure Allie is probably with Doc's wife, and she can, call him. I can have Allie,
Just
call
hold it
my
up to
phone
the-
and, hear what Doc is saying through the phone call.
Nope.
Yep.
We're just, I guess we're just going to have to say.
Garrett, you're a fantastic human being. It's been a pleasure to have you on our team for the last few years. As your teammate, I retired last year, but it's been a pleasure to work with you, have you as a teammate, a family member, and friend. Happy birthday to you. Happy retirement. It's time to focus on school.
Garrett Frost, our guy.
Go!
Amazing job. Congrats on a great day on your 22nd birthday. And for being a killer Bronco, I wish I was there, but I'm getting ready to get on a plane. I'm just lost out here in the big wide world while you guys are kicking butt on Bethel. I appreciate you. Happy birthday.
There you go.
That's such a heartfelt message. I could hear it 4 more times.
The production is giggling. But yes, Gart, happy birthday. It's been a pleasure having you as a friend and having you as a teammate. Truly. I'm excited to play some Jeopardy with you this weekend to celebrate your birthday, but nonetheless, here today, we'll be celebrating it with you as one big family. There's people in the crowd who have come, our old teammates who are also here. They're behind my chair, but they're right there. Yes, that is Pleb and Narbles, our old teammates as well and good friends. So this day is all about you, and I'm excited to see you pop off more as we go into the ever so classic and painful Kings Row.
It can definitely be painful with just how it is a stage that tends to draw itself off into overtime. If both teams are just kind of halfway competent, then it always seems to go into overtime. It just favors those huge climaxes at the end. Very tough to hold at the outset.
Kings Row is the map that I had go so painfully long. Kings Row and Anubis. I'm glad Anubis is gone, let the record show. I'm not angry about that, but Kings Row, it's that perfected map. It's borderline, I think it's partially due to goats, because I think that's the map that was the first, ever, this is where we run goats. It's the goats map. And then goats just became everything. That is just,
what
it's
a legacy.
Gart and I both started on this Overwatch team during goats meta. Let the record show, we are not Stockholming ourselves into believing it was a good meta. We didn't enjoy it. We have more fun now.
Well, we're going to have a bit of a scenery change from night to daytime, but part of this stage that it always ends up in, you're not going to be able to tell the difference anyway beside that factory. But looks like Boise State, if they are going to be sticking on the blue, are going to be defending first, whereas Bethel has first range of attack. And also, judging by the silhouettes, not much has changed.
And just based off the Lucio placement, I can tell you this is most likely the Broncos. Because when do we not ever see Bagel skyboxing at the start of a game?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He just can't stay in one space at all times.
No. Truly, he cannot.
All right, he's going to join up with the remaining team. We're going to get the confirmation that, yes, that is indeed the Broncos defending first. And a pick onto the Hog here for Quizby, changing things up just a little.
So there's this dynamic with, the tanks. It's a game of rock, paper, scissors to some extent. But when you're at the level that these players are at, it's really a game of what you think you can get value on. And here's my concern with the Hog. Just like the Battle Cattle earlier, it's a very, very selfish kit, but it can work to your advantage if used properly. But if the Broncos start responding, that pick on the Reaper ain't going to do much. Well, on the Lucio and the Winston won't do much. What's important here is they disengage, give up 2 ticks, and re-engage. But they really need Bagel to come back quickly.
It's working out so well for them. Quizby picking up a double on this hog, throws out the hook, is gonna miss that. The Sojourner's gonna slip away. Frost throwing, having a bunch of damage thrown onto him. The recontest goes through, but it's too late. Bethel gets the payload anyway.
And the game of rock, paper, scissors of tanks has started. Quizby does have their whole hog online. Bagel's just pulling everyone back because they gotta go all the way back. That next spawn is so far away. It's very painful. Gotta love that swift step from Kiriko to keep Chosen alive. Now, the rock, paper, scissors game, like I said, is coming to play. They've gone to Zarya. If for some reason a lot of people are getting turned into pulled pork, there might be a diva swap, but in reality, I highly doubt we're gonna see a lot of Broncos get hooked. With that being said, everything else is fine. It's gonna get a little bit rough though if Kuda cannot keep their beats at the right tempos here to counter Graviton surges.
Whole hog brought out by Bethel as well as Kitsune, and everyone's gonna get a piece of Play-Doh. A hook lands onto
Yikers.
the Zarya. I'm not even gonna care about your rock, paper, scissors. I'm just gonna hook you in and take you out.
I mean, at that point, that's just cleanup, and the rest of the Broncos have retreated. Name of the game in current Overwatch meta is, you know, not so much unless you're playing Sojourn, who can aim better, but it's really the tempo and pace and your speed. They took down the tank, the only tank, and then retreated. That's fine. Zarya's back. They're going to be able to re-engage here before this payload fully rounds this last corner to hit that barricade. Kitsune Rush is paid. There is no response, Kitsune. There is no response ult. Waiting on Kuda to actually use Beat, possibly, so the only option is to disengage and possibly re-engage with Beat. But that's going to be risky because Bagel can respond with their own Beat, and they need to hang on to the Beat to care for Play-Doh, well, for Clear's grab. And they used it anyway. That's a free grab for Clear. Ta-da!
Another pick, 2 more picks for the Broncos, despite Quizby trying to take out Frost. It does go back in favor of the blue. They take at least one fight away from Bethel and the precious few seconds that are associated with it. They don't have to spend too much for that either.
They are going to just clean up and then back off. There is always the option to hold here at Archway, and I think that's what the Broncos are going to do, possibly. They need to hit that tab button a few times. Just make sure no one's going for the Somber pick, because that's when someone goes high ground, avoids all damage, goes to the payload, and starts capping. They aren't quite in C9 territory from this distance as that payload is backing up more and more. But holding this Archway is great. Forcing cooldowns and backing up around Bookshop, also great. We got a hook onto Chosen. No bubble online, but response from Play-Doh with the railgun will equalize, and we got a beat out to make sure we fully egress into the enemy team and clean things up in return for our lost and fallen Kiriko.
It's one little price to pay for another hold for the Broncos. Now out-driven Bethel down below 3 minutes. Not bad considering Bethel started this out with, I think, 5:28 is what they had. So overall, just bleeding those resources away, playing the long game for overtime. Boise State is going to have to hold a fight now without an ultimate advantage. A hook onto Clear, who just bubbles in response. He still gets mowed down by Bethel. Quizby also eliminating Bagel. This is going to be a hard hold for the Broncos, and Play-Doh already is going to retreat.
I'll be honest, I don't even know when Quizby used that whole hog because the last fight was cleaned up so quickly. Chosen's trying to stay alive, doesn't have their swift step just yet, gets it online just in time to escape. We'll have Kitsune Rush to respawn. This is the exact same spot the payload was in last time, but I do not think the Broncos are going to be able to re-engage fast enough here to prevent them from getting this checkpoint. Trying to get that speed boost. They do barely get in time, and Reaper goes down.
2 for the Broncos. Make it 3 with that railgun doing work. Only 1 left. It's Space Marine who's able to retreat. Broncos just barely managing to keep the payload away from the checkpoint.
It's really important to give respect to the Sojourn players of the game because that railgun is deadly, and if your team's not communicating when railgun's charged and you peek a corner and that Sojourn's waiting for you, even if they're retreating, you might go back to your spawn while they're just walking to theirs.
Fight breaks out, but is going to be brought down with the grab. Unfortunately, it's in an awkward place, and they just used a wall to
Really
their
weird.
advantage. Bethel still managing to survive and take out Clear. Now this hog is out for revenge, eliminates Chosen. Big J5 is taken out by Play-Doh, but is it enough? Play-Doh's trying to hold down this point, but I don't think Boise State can do the impossible twice in a row. Although Clear's going to try. Now moving on to Hammond.
And the wrecking ball is still going to get thrown around quite a bit by Quizby, who's on this Roadhog with the whole hog. Is completely locked down now. Suzu gets dropped. Railgun, we have Death Blossom. Kiriko ults are going to be exchanged. Gates dropped first by Dawson. Death Blossom is exchanged on both sides. Plato goes down. Quisby goes down. Chosen goes down. Frost goes down. It is just the Lucio and the ball. Is the Reddit enough? Will the spin to win be the winning victory here? I don't think so. Is this just Bagel? Bagel goes down. I think that's the checkpoint walking over. Yes, and they have 2 minutes on the clock to get to the third point.
Now Clear is not going to stick on the Wrecking Ball. Instead is going to swap back over to the Orisa.
The Battle Cattle again?
We'll see. Maybe he knows something we don't.
I don't know. I mean, I would love to see a Terra Surge that pulls a couple people off the right side of the map or over here in this corner. That would make my day, but that's not easy to pull off.
Big J5 was holding down the high ground, looking for an interesting collapse, but Boise State knocked him off of it, and he's going to be taken out by Chosen. Right in the face. Clear is just charging right into Bethel.
Ooh, the boop!
Oh, the boop onto the edge.
Oh, and Frost survives! Oh, Frost almost got booped up by the other Lucio.
Whatever way they managed to accomplish it, it is still a victory for the Broncos. The crucial one is they are now going to be able to have the ultimate advantage going into what could be the final fight if it is long and drawn out enough. Javelin isn't quite going to find anything. Here we go.
And there's the Kitsune Rush coming out from Chosen. Battle Cattle is going to go crazy. This is Fast and Angry Horse for the Broncos. Big Five's going to go down. Kudo goes down to Frost. That's a reset for Bethel. Let's get out and get back to spawn.
40 seconds left. Room for one more fight. This could be a nasty Sager, but Bethel's not going to allow Boise State to have it. Still 2 ultimates on a line for the Broncos. Space Marine could put a damper on that with one well-placed shot from this overclock. Now 20 seconds left as the final fight starts.
It is time for some Terra Surge. The slow, the Terra Surge. Suzu's forced. Winston loses barely any health. We hear the gates get dropped from Dawson. Railgun is offline. Big J is the next one to come up on ult, as is Kuda, but Bagel's going to drop their beat as we use Rail Overclock from Play-Doh, trying to clean someone up. Finally, they find Space Marine, and things are flipping in favor of the Broncos.
We are in overtime. Can the Broncos end it right now? Frost putting a lot of damage up onto point. Is getting right in the face of
yes!
and down.
No,
that's
Suzu!
Still finds a double. Clear also taking out Big J5. Just one left on the point for Bethel. It's Quisby trying to stall things out with this Primal Rage, but everyone is out, and the Broncos hold Bethel to just 2.
That was... They held out right for the second checkpoint for quite some time.
Yeah, Boise State had, especially, I think it was the last-minute swap onto the Wrecking Ball, too. I mean, hey, the spin to win worked out for Boise State. It sure bought them a good amount of time, at least 30 seconds more off of Bethel's time bank, and hey, keeping them to just 2 means we are not going to be going into overtime here.
Yes.
For Kings Row. So you know what? You take your small victories where you can get
It
them.
is either a loss for the Broncos or a win. But of course, you know, it's Garrett's birthday. It's Frost's birthday, so it's got to be a win. And Frost has got to get the play of the game with the multi-kill Death Blossoms, right?
You would think he has a lot of opportunities, but you know, that Sojourn right-click.
I know.
Enough
Just the game needs to like calculate in a custom lobby how frequently it's given a Sojourn POTG, and then just be like, okay, for the next game it cannot be Sojourn.
Plan to win.
It's like the days of old with the Diva self-destructs, because like those just don't happen anymore. The Diva self-destruct multi-kills, unless you're just really bad with positioning, because of how much speed there is, you don't get those. So we've replaced the concept of that's too easy for the play of the game with from the self-destruct with the railgun, or just even the like railgun or overclock for Sojourn. Not back-to-back games.
You would hope so. Come on, it's his birthday.
Yeah.
Have a heart.
Come on, Overwatch. You just big bunch of 0s and 1s. Have a heart.
Talking to the algorithm, just screaming at the sky, it seems.
Clear realized the battle cattle ain't gonna work, and they're going over to Winston.
It's time for a tactical swap here.
I appreciate it.
All right, first team fight. Boise State is making their way slowly around the statue. Throws out the molly to get a bit of damage on a Quisby, but he is well supported by his supports, but they just mow down to just barely any health. Still manages to survive along with Big J5, but this Reaper is out for blood. Frost wants his play of the game. gets right in face of the Winston. Still not going to be able to take him out. Bethel is managing to hold on. But the question is, are they going to be giving up 2 ticks, possibly 3, just on the positioning alone? They now rush onto the point, trying to clean things up. A boop onto Frost, answered back with a pick onto Space Marine. 4 versus 4, double for Bethel. Means Boise State is going to have to settle for just 2 ticks.
Okay, credit where credit is due. Bethel didn't lose anybody when they rotated back and hid inside Hotel, but they gave up 2 ticks. If they do that same rotation again, they're going to lose the point.
All things being equal, though, this is more of a hold on the first point than Boise State had. So the
Ooh,
Broncos
shots
are
fired.
going to have their work cut out for them. Going to see if they can take it this way. However, Kitsune Rush brought out by Dawson, and Boise State is just forced back past the choke. Plato eliminated by Kuda. That is going to have to be yet more time bled from the Broncos.
Reaper did a weird shadow step, so they will lose Big J. That's fine. Plato has a better respawns. We have Kitsune Rush beat Primal Rage almost on lock. Primal in return for Bethel, as well as Death Blossom overclock. Their beat's going to be dropped early. Response from Broncos. Kitsune Rush and the response from Bethel to up their ante is going to be that Primal Rage. But so far, the disruption is not giving them any foothold. Instead, they lose 2.
Now Quimby does not have that Primal Rage available anymore, so he retreats. Boise State gets the payload, and a whole bunch of ultimates ready for them to use.
All right, Bagel gets to do what Kuda did earlier, and that is the resident cart pusher. We call this resident shopper.
Although Bagel always manages to take a breather. You know?
That is literally what his job is. When you play the Lucio, your job is to push the cart. You don't even get a medal for it anymore. Blizzard decided it wasn't that important, even though it's literally the win condition for payload and escort maps and hybrid. It don't matter no more.
You know, we need to give the supports less recognition.
Unsung heroes of the game, your resident shoppers.
All right, Boise State already made their way halfway, but that's
Oh.
a great pick by Dawson onto Chosen. Could spell trouble for the Broncos, but the Broncos are going to tactically retreat for now. Wait for the respawn to come in, but Bethel is able to contest before Chosen is able to make it back.
Ooh!
But a Death Blossom right into Kuda's face, as well as the overclock is going to wipe everyone from Bethel out of the fight. And Boise State now is going to probably look for one more team fight before they take to checkpoint.
Holy cow, Plato is way up there. That man is pushing up, taking that high ground, looking to get some railgun charge and then disengage. You can see we only have to get halfway. We're really not even crossing the mega pack zone there. So being a little greedy, not bad for Plato, trying to see if they can get a quick railgun kill. So thankfully they did not lose their own life in the process.
Payload stopped right before the checkpoint. Overclocked from Space Marine as well as Kitsune from both teams. Clear gets the first pick onto Dawson, but it's answered back by a shot onto Frost. Chosen is also hurting for health and doesn't manage to hang in there. Clear eliminates Kuda, trying to keep alive from the Broncos,
that's
and
it,
they
that's
have
it,
managed
that's
to
it.
take the checkpoint.
4 minutes on the clock. You think the Broncos are gonna do this?
They need to make 1 turn instead of 2, and the way that Reaper is retreating, I'd say the Broncos are already going to get more than halfway there.
Reaper has shown all of his cards, so it's up to Winston to show another to make sure that Reaper can stay alive. And it looks like most of those shots in the Chosen, my friend. I'm sorry, that's 2 back-to-back engages where we've lost Chosen immediately. It happens, but Broncos, you have a close spawn. It's all right.
Are going to be able to respawn. 3 ultimates basically for Boise State at this point, but the same is going to be true for Bethel. So I've heard you say a lot of times, Nerdy, he who ults first, and in this case it is Big J5 wiping out more than half of the Broncos team. Make that a quad. Broncos still left searching.
Yeah, the Broncos kind of didn't count how many people were in front of them and didn't question where the Reaper was, and I think that came down to not tracking the ult. If you know the Reaper has ult, check your high ground, check your corners. That was just painful.
Talk about checking high ground. Frost is taking the high ground, but he's a bit farther away from his Death Blossom. Sound Barrier brought out by Bethel to answer back to this overclock. But 2 Sound Barriers, 1 for each team. It's going to keep Boise State in the fight as well. Quisby manages to bail himself out from low health by using the Primal Rage. Clear has also used it. It's 1 ultimate answering another. And the first pick for Clear onto Space Marine. Broncos have a slight bench. Can they keep it up? Frost has now charged up this this Death Blossom is moving toward the
Three-man
point, but is
POTG.
still...
Come on. Come on. Oh, man,
No.
Reaper, you should have stayed.
But, you know, there's still an opportunity. Now he's moving to the high ground. He wants it.
It's your turn. It's your turn to do the drop-down surprise Death Blossom in the
Is he
Kitsune.
even gonna be- it's
In
gonna
the
end
Kitsune. Just Death Blossom right now for the
It's
show.
gonna end
Thank you, Frost.
I don't know if that's technically... No, that's
It
not going
won't
to count
count,
for the
but
play
still,
of
it
the
looked
game.
pretty.
All right, we have to see who... Oh, who could have thought? Who could have predicted this? Is this going to be a right click? I predict there's a right click involved. There is.
There's a couple. And oh, what?
You know what? We've seen enough right clicks for the day. You know,
That's
I think we
valid.
just move on.
In my heart, I know Frost got the play of the game.
Yeah, that's what's most important.
I'm not being biased.
Not being biased. We need, at this point, it's going to have to be a 4 or 5 person Death Blossom at this point. And even
That's
then,
just
it's
not
still, I don't know.
fair.
I don't think the game's feeling it.
The quintuple kill, the team wipe, all from one Death Blossom. I mean, maybe if we can get Clear to come in on the Zarya and like them just commit 3 fights to the Zarya Reaper play, and we know they don't have beat, maybe. Maybe we could see a Reaper Death Blossom quintuple kill, but I don't know.
Well, as much joking as we have been doing, it still could possibly be the main stat line that is at the end of the day that matters is the actual win-loss, and this could be a sweep win for Frost, which would be great on his birthday. It all comes down to Junkertown now on Escort.
They got this. We might actually see something other than a Sojourn here. Just a thought.
We might.
We might see a Widowmaker. Maybe.
That is the one. That is the one thing. So we go from one character that can snipe to a different character that can snipe.
But before, it sounds like we got another message from either Doc or someone. Oh, it might actually. I think I might know who this message is from if it's not Doc, but I'm not going to spoil it. Oh, okay. Thanks, production. I thought it was Coach Shifty, who was our old coach, but instead it's just another message from Doc. Go ahead, Doc.
Yep. You know what? I think that old not. Oh.
Here's a heartfelt message for our casters in production. You got to actually hit the M button. You got to actually send the volume to the main out. But Nerdy and Jem doing a great job as always. Make sure to use your whole dynamic range. Garrett, happy birthday.
Thank you, Doc. Of course, for the one time that it actually applies to us and he's given us criticism, the volume just works fine, but I see how it is.
Sus.
Oh, man. Oh, you got to appreciate Doc. He's always keeping us from the flight itself. He's just,
all right.
Which means you know he's watching. You know he watched and said, you know what, I need to send some feedback to our casters in real time right now.
I accept it. That's fine. With that being said, Doc, I hope we have. I still hope that we have Garrett, our Frost, to get play of the game in this next match because we might not see a Sojourn. I think that's going to open up the opportunities to see a 5-man Death Blossom. Or, you know what? We flip the meta on its head. We get an Ana in instead of a Kiriko, and we go with the years of old. I'm talking like first 5 seasons of Overwatch, Beyblade.
Okay, I like the prediction.
I
don't know if it's going to come true.
It doesn't work. It's dumb, but it could work. It could just catch someone off guard enough on defense for the Broncos because they're probably going to defend first day one. It could catch someone off guard just enough for a couple fights that we could see in Beyblade. Will it happen? Probably not.
There have been times, you know, as set in stone as the meta has been, over the past few weeks, there have been times where we have been pleasantly surprised here. You know, we've seen Hollywood a few times instead of Kings Row. We've seen some interesting glimmers of variety here and there.
If I don't see the swap come out though, and they like are holding on to the Death Blossom with a nano boost for a very long time, that is when I'm going to use the term creative in a not nice way.
Yep.
So either be creative and have fun with it, or just be meta slaves. It's up to you guys. And we do get to see our fun Broncos up there.
A bit of feedback, it looks like, from the audience.
It looks like Chosen is taking care of his TikTok. If you want to see some great Moira gameplay, go check out his TikTok. You can see Gart there and Joey giving him a happy birthday pep talk.
This could be our best mission yet.
Okay, so based off the audio cues, yeah, okay, there's a Tracer. Sojourn, okay, my wish has not been granted.
Okay.
Hardly,
I do see an Ana.
Okay, so it's another older play, but it's very satisfying if you're someone who just enjoys good sounds. Nanoing a Tracer gives you a lot of great audio cues as an Ana player.
I may not have won, but let me appreciate the voice clips.
Yes.
That's, at the end of the day, you
Ooh.
just gotta find ways to have fun any way you can.
So we're going with a very creative comp from the Broncos.
Okay, they're actually bringing out the Bastion and the Junker Queen as well.
I mean, the Sombra I'm here for. The Zenyatta Kiriko can work, especially that Zen Spartan kick keeps you alive quite a bit. And if Frost just keeps Tracer busy, that means Bagel has free reign, and Space Marine goes down to clear almost instantly.
Plato gets the pick on Takuda. Clear is also hit with the Sleep Dart. Bagel is eliminated by Quizby, but overall, Boise State making a good bit of push for themselves for this first. Quizby is still alive, however, the Broncos collapse on him from the backline,
And he's
also hack
hacked.
him, and he is gone, which is a bad stagger onto Bethel. Boise State is going to continue moving forward.
That was a really early ante from that Ana. While it did help pick up Plato, it means it's not there to help them and their teammates get a stall out on this point. And with Ana having to retreat, Frost is still alive. I don't think we're going to have anybody touch from the side of Bethel. That should be a lockdown there for the Broncos. It is 5 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock to find 2 checkpoints, and that's not even including the additional time they're going to get.
I'll say, for the Junker Queen meta being dead, as you said, Clear did not get the memo in that regard because
Or
he's
Clear
already...
is just trying to flex on
He
me.
might be just trying to flex. We'll see how he can do here with the hack. On to Clear. He's trying to get away. And he, we hear from the stage, I lived. So that is something. You take your victories where you can get them.
Nicely done, Clear. Dawson goes down for Bethel. So the team that took my advice of being creative with the Ana is the wrong team. Bagel gets dangerously low on that Zenyatta. Clear and everyone else still alive. Nothing hurting.
Talking about swaps, Hanzo's now been picked by Big J5. He's taken a lot of damage, however, and is going to be eliminated by Frost. This is going to be, that building is not safe.
So here's the interesting thing, is that they go Big J, I believe the Sonics, to try and find where Frost is at. So you're going to burn an entire ability that has a long cooldown to shoot one area and pray you're guessing correctly. Why would you not just have your tank swap to Diva and spy check and swap to a faster rate of fire hero to also spy check?
I don't know. The math works out perfectly in my mind. But we'll just have to see how it works out. That is why I am not on the stage. Frost, however, is still doing work, taking out Kuda. Chosen also almost getting a pick, but keeping Plato alive as well. Bethel only has 1 ultimate, now 2. Actually, he's going to have 3 on deck right now. So we'll see how things play out between these two teams. Broncos have a lot in their arsenal as well. 2 more ultimates being brought online, Zen and Junker.
I'd like to point out that for once it's not Bagel being forced on cart duty, but I think Bagel's going to now be forced on cart duty as he is going to return to the spawn. Clear was gracious enough to be the one on payload, but probably now is going to go. And after the disengage and reset, force Bagel to be the cart pusher yet again. Because it was Bagel was on the high ground, everyone but Clear was up there, but now I think it's a forced reset and everyone's back to their old role.
Payload's now moving forward. Frost sitting on this EMP, but not even going to be able to use an ultimate to just take out Big J5. Broncos are no doubt happy with that take. Transcendence brought out by Bagel onto the point. Frost still holding on to that EMP. Boise State, yeah, just 1 Transcendence gets them all that push because Plato is doing such work here. He gets a triple.
Well, we know what play of the game
I
is.
was about to say, there it goes.
Sorry, Garrett, we tried.
He desperately tried, but unless you have the EMP of your life here.
Oh, you know what? Maybe.
Okay, he's off to 1.
But we haven't even popped EMP and Plato's taking a nap. Plato was slapped. There's the EMP. The Battle Cattle was nanoed, though, so that might be a little bit scary. I do not believe, yeah, they're very, very close to that Terra Surge, but they can probably die before it gets popped, or they're going to C9. And the Broncos have 3 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock. I think Clear actually had their ult. I think he had that ult for like 3 fights and didn't even use it.
Didn't need to. Doesn't even need it at this point because one transcend that's just keeping Plato alive here was enough. Because he tore right through Bethel, picking up 4, I think, in all. Yeah, that's 4, counting the initial pick he got onto Quizby.
Okay, Plato, I need you to chill.
Yeah, he's just...
I want one play of the game for Frost. Or maybe you pick up the Reaper Mantle and give the Broken Hero over to Frost.
That's one thing that was going through my mind.
Just a
Maybe
suggestion.
put Frost on the Sojin just for now, so that he can have his birthday moment.
Exactly.
Gotta go. Are you, on average, more mechanical or more human?
It does sound like, based off audio cues, that
So
Frost...
I was enjoying the audio cue.
Yeah,
as
I
you
was
were
like,
saying.
so we got a Sombra, we have a Queen, and of course we got Bagel on the Lucio, we got Kiriko, and I think the Sojourn ran back?
Listen to your album.
Maybe we're not seeing a Sojourn swap. We're getting a Widowmaker!
Oh.
We have an opportunity for things to be a little bit different. Thank you so much,
Emphasis
Plato.
on a little bit.
Yeah. You don't always see Widowmaker play the games, but she can still be a one headshot, one kill hero. Just a little bit. It takes a bit more skill because her projectiles, well, her ammunition and her bullets are smaller than the rail shot from Sojourn. Let the record show. Plato, we're all watching this right now, just a heads up. We saw all 3 of those whiffs.
The last one hit, though.
We saw that, Plato, yes.
Probably is, at this point, just being placed onto Widow duty so Frost can have an adequate shot at player of the game.
I mean, come on. Let Frost have his moment.
We'll just have to see if that works out, if the game is feeling generous enough, which it probably won't be. But all things being considered at this point, it's not too bad for the Broncos. The Space Marine is picked out. The payload is going to be held well past the first checkpoint. In fact, a long way to go before that even happens. Broncos holding well.
I will eat my words that the JQ meta is dead, but I'm also going to heavily lean into the fact that this is just Clear being Clear.
And
Nice pop shot coming out from Plato. Could not find the one on Zenyatta. Looking to get a couple in on our Orisa coming out from Bethel. Can't find those either. They're forced to retreat. Oh, Plato taking some bold positioning right in front. Chosen goes down to Dawson, who's on that Zenyatta. The attack monk coming in clutch, finding the first pick onto the Boise State team, but Big 5 is going to go down to Clear, equalizing things out, but Respawn's heavily favoring Bethel.
Well, Bethel's gonna have to rely on those respawns even more. Space Marine is taken out. Bagel uses the sound barrier. Plato low on health, but managing to hang in there. Clear gets another pick onto Quizby. Another team fight. More hold, and Frost is doing a whole lot of scouting right now, looking for that Zen. He's trying to do a 2-on-1 as he gets back up. Is he gonna be able to get away? He does.
And what? Clear, what just happened? Clear, I need an answer.
I just love Plato's still out for play of the game.
I know, Plato. I'm just trying to
Even on
ignore it
Widow.
and act like it didn't happen because I'm really curious. I need hopefully that's in like a highlight because I need to know what happened. Finally, Plato does get taken down. I think he was in a very forward-facing position as a Widow player. It's the only way. Oh, and I just heard Garrett. That is the that for Frost got log zoned there by that Hanzo, going back to respawn. But the Broncos held that for quite some time, and you can see we do have our Junker Queen right here at the archway, being sneaky. If you actually poke out that door, you can stall the cart, but it was unnecessary. This is Clear. Yep, there it is. The moment went out. The team said go in, get the engage. We have EMP. We're going to hold it because we went down 3.
That Dragon Strike, not good news for the Broncos.
I think the timing was just a little off for the JQ ults. I think it was a little too early.
Clear. I hope that's just for the stall. I really hope it's just for the stall.
As you said a few minutes ago, it could just be Clear being Clear.
That is valid, but Doomfist is Doomfist. And there you go.
Oh!
But Plato.
Oh.
Dude, chill. Chill.
He's not going to chill. He's going after
He
the
has
Orisa now.
no chill. And if, yeah. Bagel got that one, though, and Frost technically also was involved in that, not just Play-Doh. But dude, chill. Bagel gets to make sure there is no...
I bet money that the next pick is Play-Doh, that he manages to find a headshot.
I love how we have to stick Bagel on defense, even on cart duty, because the opportunity for the Sombra swap here is...
I called it out!
Chill out, man. Bethel right now should have swapped to Sombra or Tracer and gone to cart. Hey, Play-Doh.
Give him a Snickers.
He's not. You're not you when you're hungry.
That's gonna end it.
Holy McNuggets.
Win for the Broncos. Play-Doh not letting the foot off the accelerator for 1 second during that game.
Okay.
It's Big J5. Okay.
You know what?
You know what? Play-Doh's plan was ultimately thwarted in the end.
Yes, and this was the moment where I believe we had even Garrett go, what? Because they, oh no, this was that massive dragon that caught multiple members of the Broncos off guard. And you don't see the third one that's picked up. But at the end of the day, Broncos still win.
And, yep, that's still a victory overall, a sweep. Still a great way for Frost to play out on his birthday. Great job by the Broncos all around. At this point, we have to, quote-unquote, debate who is going to be player of the game. But before we get to that, we want to just remind everyone that this December, Boise State Esports is partnering with Idaho Central Credit Union and the Idaho Food Bank to host the Giving Games charity tournaments. Gamers will compete for glory, but ultimate winners will be neighbors facing hungers who will receive nutritious food for meals thanks to contestant and spectator support. For every $1 donated, the Idaho Food Bank can provide up to 4 meals. So for more information on how you can watch and support, go to boiseday.edu/esports/event/Giving Games 2022.
All right, so we have one more job, and I want to do this very quickly before our boys get knocked off the stage, because I know they have to give it up for the next game. And you know what that is. It's the ICCU player of the game.
It is.
Is there really any contest? If someone in the crowd says Play-Doh, I swear.
Someone from production said it. That was from production. You know what? Production could also give us the trio. It's just a little bit more.
It should just all be Frost on the trio.
It should all be Frost. It should. We're just going to have to see who they ultimately give the nod to.
Dawson?
It could
is
be
Dawson one of our trio players? There's no way. There's no way, right?
No.
Frost.
Okay, Frost is the first option.
That's a given.
We're going. This is a good start here. It's a good start, but who else?
Possibly Play-Doh, but if it's not Frost for the next time, I'm also going to be a little upset.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
All right,
there we go. I like it.
Now watch the last one be Doc.
It could be, he had the most savage play of the game.
For real.
I would say the the verbal sneak attack was enough to undo any sort of railgun shot that Sojourn could have provided at this point. And the last one is going to be, 3 of a kind. I have a feeling I'm actually going to win a prediction for once.
I am satisfied with this one. My money is on Frost being the player of the game. He deserves it. Hopefully we give him one heck of a highlight reel to send him off on. As I mentioned, it's also his retirement game. He's been here in this program for a real long time. And, every story, every chapter has to end, and you have to go into the next one. So, Frost, hats off to you, my friend. It's time to start the next chapter of your journey, and it's going to be even more exciting as we go into the ICCU player of the game.
And it is indeed going to be Frost one last time in the limelight before he ends. But as I'm sure you can attest, Nerdy, it's the end of one journey, but the beginning of another.
Time to go push harder in Bad Pachamara League, my friend. Go all the way to the top through that league. Have some fun with it.
We can only hope. Well, the player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like how Idaho Central helps its members achieve financial success. For one last time, Frost is your ICCU player of the game. And, man, he sure played his heart out with these Death Blossoms.
Yes, it's just the game, the ones and the zeros decided his heart wasn't in it, and decided the railgun shots.
Well, I hear the little activity feed. Even in the time we're highlighting Frost, Play-Doh was like over his shoulder.
He made that play though. It was Frost who created it. It should have been Frost. I disagree with you, Overwatch. Just like I disagree with you on a lot of things, mainly involving Sojourn. But with that being said, congratulations, Frost.
There we go.
Thanks, Doc.
Nice thumbs up from Doc to end things for tonight. But as Nerdy hinted, that isn't all we have tonight. We've got a Valorant match coming up, so you're not going to want to miss that. But before we get to that, we'll take a short break and leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming. We'll take a short break, be back for Valorant. Enjoy your top 5 plays. A very long, drawn-out fight, not going in favor for the Broncos.
Broncos made the mistake of engaging before our Sojourn got there, as well as overstaying their welcome and not restaying that fight. We lost basically a whole fight's worth of percentage. Death Blossom comes out. It's going to pick up 2 now. Broncos need to reset. That's Kiriko, Reaper, and Sojourn all down for the Broncos. We are in last fight territory.
Doing a whole lot of scouting right now, looking for that Zen. He's trying to do a 2-on-1 as he gets back up. Is he going to be able to get away? He does.
And what? Clear, what just happened? Clear, I need an answer.
I just love Plato's still up.
Backing up more and more. But holding this archway is great. Forcing cooldowns and backing up around Bookshop, also great. We got a hook onto Chosen. No bubble online, but response from Plato with the railgun will equalize, and we got a beat out to make sure we fully egress into the enemy team and clean things up in return for our lost and fallen Kiriko.
Question is, are they going to be giving up 2 ticks, possibly 3, just on the positioning alone? They now rush onto the point, trying to clean things up. A boop onto Frost, answered back with a pick onto Space Marine. 4 versus 4, double for Bethel. Means Boise State is going to have to settle for just 2 ticks.
Okay, credit where credit is due. Bethel
Broncos are no doubt happy with that take. Transcendence brought out by Bagel onto the point. Frost still holding on to that EMP. Boise State, yeah, just 1 Transcendence gets them all that push because Plato is doing such work here. He gets a triple.
Well, we know what play of the game is.
I was about to say, there it goes.
live like a summer sunset, doing things that I shouldn't, but it helps me reset. I'm fucked up, but it's fine, yeah. Anything to forget that it's all in my head. In my head, my head, my head. In my head, my head, my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my, get out of my head. Get out of my, get out of my head. Get out of my, get out of my head. In my head, my head, my head. My head don't feel like it used to. I miss my homies, yeah. The thing we had discontinued, but I'm not lonely yet. I don't wanna talk about it anymore. Yeah, I'm drinking cause I'm bored, down by behind locked doors, yo. In my head, my head, my head. In my head, my head, my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my, get out of my head. Get out of my, get out of my head. Get out of my, get out of my head. In my head, my head, my head. In my head,
into this broadcast from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight you are watching our coverage of NACE Valorant, the fall 2022 season. Over 70 teams are competing across 11 divisions looking to advance to the bracketed national finals. Boise State is currently in the West Central Division looking to pick up a win tonight against Northwoods. My name is Artie Rain, joined on desk by Greg Smith. All right. How did we get here? If anyone's watched, I really only casted the Campus Clutch, so it's not been the NACE Star League. So I need to fill me in. What have I missed?
Yeah, so the last time we were here for NACE, we played against Wichita, and we lost, unfortunately, which was a scary loss because it puts us in the last chance qualifiers. So we had to play against Michigan, Flint, and we won. So we took that last chance qualifiers. We're up now to this game against Northwood, still in Michigan, in that Great Lakes division for this NACE, which is a little bit scary. Also, Northwood, we know, is a pretty strong team. It's a pretty powerful team, pretty high rated. They have not lost any of the games that they've played in this season of NACE.
I'm sorry, but that is very scary just to hear. Hopefully, the Broncos have a game plan set out. I mean, we were able to be a little bit informed on pick bans. We do know that Northwoods does not like new maps, and they successfully got rid of all the new maps, which made me sad. But other than strategies, they do have some important advice coming in from Doc, who's currently on a plane. But he does write these out beforehand. We've got Doc's keys to the game today for Valorant, and they are focus those angles, the flanks, know your win condition, count cards, call abilities, and click heads. Today's keys to the game are brought to you by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is a premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash-in prizes in both free and paid entry events and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And we can get a quick look at the bracket that we have here. We're going to have NACE. We're going to have Northwoods taking on Boise State, and they will go on against the winner of Maryland and Virginia. I do know that our first map today is going to be Haven as well, which will be very interesting. That is the pick from Northwoods. Do you think that's going to give them any sort of advantage?
I don't think so. I really like Haven as well, and I've seen Boise State perform on Haven, and they've done well. So whether it was Boise State's first pick or not, I think that they have practiced it enough to, perform competently here.
Well, best of luck to our Broncos, and we can get a quick look at the boys on stage, all 5 of them there and ready to go. And the lineup we have coming in today is Ririana, Daimyo, Aldum, J-Bag, and Skies. And our apologies. Our lineups today are brought to you by Count.com. Count Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands. Check out Count.com for more information. These guys are gearing up and ready to go. We got some camera shake happening.
Yeah, they're the boys. They're good at what they do. They will be heading on to a more comfortable land position in Dallas very, very soon, heading out this Friday. So don't count them out against our well-painted opponents here. They are also going into the Red Bull Top 14 Dallas.
After that, it's Brazil, right? If they win
it should be, yeah. If they win that, it's down to Brazil for internationals. I hope to see it, but we got to do well tonight to really set up the ego for it.
Hopefully, our players have already, started the process of getting their passports ready to go in anticipation, just expecting they're going to make it down to Brazil, because you carry yourself like you're going to win. The odds of you winning increase. You got to put that good mojo out there.
Yeah, that's the mindset. I'm sure they are, though. They look pumped. They look ready to go. They're up on stage, and I'm ready to dive in. But they have already got the picks and bans going, so we know what the maps are looking like. We're going to start off with some Haven, and hopefully we'll finish it off on Breeze right after that.
Do you have any anticipation of what agents we might see pulled out here for the Broncos? I'm not asking you to fill me on what you think Northwoods, just the Broncos.
Sure. We know that Daimyo is big IGL. I would love to see him play something he's comfortable with. Other than that, I can't give you what their whole roster is going to be. I'd love to see them jump in what they set up with.
Okay.
But Haven is a pretty picked out map already. It's one of the classics. It's been around here for a really long time. So whatever they have practiced, they're going to have repped.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're not starting out on Bind.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier before the broadcast started that everyone hates, there's a love-hate between the player base between Fracture and Pearl. I really like both of them. I really like Icebox. I'm really weird. I hate Bind. But you can see Bind is our third map. I'm hoping we don't go there today, and we don't go there because the Broncos 2-0 in a best-of-3 series. I'm just saying. That's what I'm requesting.
That's what we're requesting too. The desk would love to see a 2-0 in this series. I'm just tired of seeing Bind and Icebox in general just because I perform so much ET, and Esports Tower just loves picking those maps. Those have got such high polls for some reason.
Let's get some more teams that like the new maps then. Give me some Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
They've spiced up the new maps, and so give me that Pearl, give me that Fracture. They've changed things up just a tiny bit. I want to see creativity, but at the end of the day, when we go to the ever so classic Haven, I feel like that limits some creativity. I just pray that I don't see someone sitting inside garage with a shorty.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that.
Oh, I know we will, but it always hurts my soul when it's the other team doing it and our team doesn't check their corners.
No, I think we're going to, yeah, hopefully our, the boys, coaches on the deck with them, I'm sure they know to check all those corners because Northwood will definitely peek from some cheeky places if they can. Playing on new maps is a little bit scary because the meta's a little bit softer,
That's
you might call it creativity and you might call it excitement, but I don't know if we want creative and excitement turnouts from the game when there's so much on the line. We want to go to Brazil.
There's a lot on the line, but here's the thing. When there is so much on the line and you need to do what we used to in the years of old here at Boise State called a boomerang play and pull out the card that no one anticipates, your trap card, freaking, Kaiba, you've triggered my trap. You need to do something unexpected. You need to be a little bit creative. I mean, granted, yes, there are kind of dead set metas that work for each map, but there's a little bit more slight flexibility, and that just a little bit of a knee up, the advantage of doing something unexpected can really turn things around. Now, the question is, will we ever need to get there? Probably not in this series. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Yes, I'm being very biased, but that is how I'm going to roll with it.
Haven definitely gives you the ability, which is why it's probably my favorite map, the ability to have a little bit of that gentle flexibility. Yep, all the Haven lovers. There's 3 sites. There's a little bit more going on. The cheeky extra spin that Riot put on it is that there's just more you can do. So a default is a little bit more spread.
Okay, hold up. But B site kind of stops existing at a certain point. After, I feel like probably the 3rd round, and then after this, maybe 2nd round after half, very rarely do we see a Hail Mary play onto B site. So in reality, it has 2 sites after that. You have 5 rounds of 3 sites, and then the rest is 2.
That's fair. That's an interesting look for it. Jumping right on into the loadouts. I just barely got to see what Rip Benji was on. I want to see more.
Thank you. Chamber. Okay, Omen, Chamber, Fade.
Now,
okay.
This team actually has a really large roster, so I didn't know what. Yeah, Northwood actually in their games will kind of rotate who they've got in, but Rip Benji is definitely very comfortable on the chamber there. We see him play a lot of that sentinel position, and it looks like Ali usually likes to be on the duelist as well. They're pretty set up. So Northwood.
Ooh, we're going to go for a snare paint grenade. If you can grab someone with that, it's so horrifying, especially when you hear the audio cue for the paint grenade. You just know you're done for. But they've wasted double util for nothing. None of the Broncos were there.
It got a little taste. Northwood started out with a small default. Leaning A now, starting to push right up. Boise State has really felt that and is going for the rotation. After a serious commit of utility, Boise State is making their way through. First contact is out, and Darkest to Rip Benji find their one. Aldem replies with the good paint shells up in heaven, but that's just not space taken. Benji finds another one. Yep, Spike goes down.
Ooh, Dark is just creeping around that corner, putting himself in a position to just catch some people off guard. Aldem, behind boxes. Unfortunately, Rip Benji is going to get the last couple of bullets into them. That's going to be the end of the round. Broncos, nothing for them, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and these pistol rounds are kind of a toss-up sometimes. There's less on the line as far as what one death means, and there's quite a bit on the line as what the round means. Because we usually see this 1 point get snowballed into 2, and sometimes it can change a posture for the 3rd round as well. So Northwood taking that 1 tells us that they're, slated to win this next piece. So Boise State hopefully has something clever to run.
Did see some stick with the Ghost. Ali's going to go with the Spectre. Paint grenade goes now out. We do have another one of our Broncos go down.
but BSU picks up 2 in returns. We are now 3v3,
Standing.
but immediately the Broncos lose 2. I cast her curse to that one, didn't I?
It's just a very forward push for Northwood. We saw them do something a little bit out of the bag, a little bit tricky, and they already, after taking the first point, were feeling pretty good for it, but now they are on the keep from what they had last. They're going to bonus up all those Spectres, and Mocking, unfortunately, very low on the creds, is just going to save what he's got, no reason to buy, whereas Boise State is looking good. Oh, no.
They are forcing. Boise State is going full. We have 1 Phantom. I'm a fan of the Phantom, but I'm weird, so don't trust my call. Whereas the bonus round for Northwoods, they're just sticking with what they had. Some light shields mixed in with some heavy shields. That's fine. We don't have anyone going for, like, sometimes what we see in the bonus round is just 2 people decide to, you know,
Wow.
2 or 1 will pick up a Vandal or a Phantom and just give up that gun to someone who can't afford it.
Northwood just dumped 3 players down A long to try to clear through, hoping the Boise State would move nice and slow. They did some damage.
Broncos adjusted, though. They found 1 very quickly, but they're going to rotate over towards C long. Wonder if they're prepared and got the intel to know that there's a few people waiting them, and there's also looking like a pinch-off play that's going to come very quietly from the site of A long. Broncos need to be careful.
Yeah, they know that pinch is there, though. The flank guard is not a problem. They left 3 people for it. J-Bag was the one to capture Darkest's play. On the rotation, Northwood really wants to play some kind of flank here. They've left their people off of C after losing 1, and they're going to try to push from the back again. Boise State still just feeling nice and slow about it. I'm going to see what they can get.
Looks like we have 2 facing forward, 2 facing back, so these 2 coming from behind. As soon as they get called out, when one of them gets called out, it's going to be full firing squad. Oh, no!
Down, C.
I don't know how that just happened. I really don't.
He's looking to hold up against it, but Aldum's just got a lot to play with. And Dip taking all 4. Dip, we know, you said you didn't want to see super cheeky stuff of someone just like hanging around a box somewhere and getting someone with a shotgun. That is Dip's specialty.
I mean, I understand that is the strategy. It's just, as someone with anxiety and who just likes to play Valorant, that is what we call jump scares. And it hurts my heart, because that was a jump scare.
But Dip got 4 kills out of the jump scare, so he's just going to keep doing it.
The strategy worked, but we have Mocking coming in. Is that an Odin?
Yep.
Mocking coming in with the Odin? That's what they were saving up for.
Boise State now pushing right forward. We have a very, very high-paced Raze just trying to aggro a kind of a spear through B. It does go out. Northwood now knows that it's going to be that site. A quick TP over to adjust. Boise State, 2 go down to Mocking. Are kind of pushed back to the doors, and Spike is still down in C main. It's a tough one. They're trying to take care of this flank, but Darkest caught Skies a little bit too much time on hand. Rariana left to just survive. Not an option to save after that pinch comes in, so caught in C. Cubby goes down, and Boise State, I believe it was a save. Now they can go for a full buy, try to flip this econ. Northwood walks away with a pretty good bonus, but we're going to see Benji go up to an op, and he's going to be very comfortable with that op.
I really liked the 2-prong approach that we saw coming out from the Broncos there. It's just unfortunate. I don't think they anticipated going into the Odin. And that kind of was their undoing. We saw 2 people fall almost immediately to it, so perhaps this time we'll see a little bit of a different strategy. I don't think going slow is the name of the game. I think going with a faster pace is what they need to be looking for. They just need to be checking corners just a little bit faster. I know that's a lot to ask from a team, but oh no, we're gonna have Skies actually play the lurking rat role, and I'm here for it.
Boise State gave just enough time to look for any utility and then pushes in pretty fast. 1 in the box and a few in B main. More utility going out. It's not looking good. Dip finds 3 all in a row, just absolutely sitting on B box.
No one checked.
Again, Spike is in deep. And the 2 remaining Boise State players were divided. Now this lurker roll, the last alive, we see it so often, tries to salvage something and can't. It is a 5-0. Northwood feeling good right now after shutting down Boise State's buy round.
And we are going to take a quick look at this. Dip had just been hiding in this one spot inside B, and I was waiting for them to get spotted. There's a stat out there that's something like 70% of humans don't look up. and that applies to video games as well. I mean, if you don't look up in real life, why would we look up in video games? So hiding just above someone's eyesight in a video game is a valid strategy, and I think right there, even though we didn't get a sight on where Dip exactly was, they were just above the sight lines of the Broncos.
Which is a scary one because we know that Dip loves to hang out in these strange positions and really catch you off guard. We already discussed jump scares, so they are thinking about it now, looking at this pause. It's an uncomfortable position to be in after a 5-0 down and losing that buy round. Creds are not super comfortable, and they've got to stay aware of where Dip could be at, because now it's been either 2 or 3 times that they've taken a large kill run just by playing something offhand, playing something strange.
I really wonder what would happen if the Broncos just stayed near spawn and waited, because Northwoods really like to egress forward into the space, the attacker's space, and they do it very quickly. So if the Broncos were to play the quiet game and just wait, could that play into their hands here? I don't know. There's a lot of util dump that comes very quickly from the side of Northwood, so they could anticipate where at least 1 or 2 people are based off the audio cues. But it looks like we might be full stacking and looking to rush through sewer to A. Might work, might not. We'll have to see.
Knowing that Northwood is feeling hot, Rariana jumps right in and is the catalyst for the first kill. And this rotation comes out, but it's such a dynamic rotation already. We see Dip going very, very forward, playing into the pinch here. He does go down to Rariana, but not before taking one, bringing us to a 3-3. This change from the Northwood, they're just not comfortable now going for a big kind of dynamic rotation, maybe leaving their Omen down in B grass, hoping for something, but he's just going to be kind of lurking around, looking for some kind of rotation out, which Boise State might just give him. They've got to be careful coming out of A site here and re-choosing where they want to move with it. He finds one a second before going down. A big call from Ali. Rariana is going to be the one to find him, but now he's the last alive. Mocking, still looking for him. Uses up an ult to find the site. Gets the plant out, now has to just hang out. Doesn't have any real utility to fight this spike. So he's just going to have to wait, play it all off gunplay, listen to audio cues, hope that someone peeks him, which might just happen here.
Oh!
Finds one with the knife out. He's looking for reposition now.
That crosshair placement was the clutch right there. Nicely done. Now rotating out slowly. We hear it. Oh no, it's not even a fake because Pro's sticking and we're not going to rotate out fast enough, but we do, and that's an ace for Ririana. This momentum, the tempo, the pendulum is swinging in the other direction now. Broncos looking to bring it back.
Yeah, Boise State, a good momentum arrest there.
Oh, did Ririana also grab the op there?
From the down?
I think so.
That's just to stick it to him. But yeah, Ririana done well. Responded to that surprise.
Just the crosshair placement pristine there. Would have gotten the intel I needed, but it's okay. I'm going to assume that that was an op pickup for the Broncos, so they don't even have to buy it. But Rip Benji, going to find all them very quickly as the tour de force was pulled out by Northwoods. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It was? Okay. Yeah, I'm crazy.
Yeah, they also just dropped the little party pack. Not going to find much with it. Boise State only 1 down. Entry utility coming out here, and yeah, sure enough, Northwood still very high-paced game, and they want the game to be in their pacing. It's going to take 1 down. BSU J-Bag looking pretty good. Just a reposition off that utility. He's not worried. The paranoia does not get him paranoid.
Well, like, the one thing that is nice about util like that is you can still see the visual cue as to where it's coming from, so it gives you an idea of where you need to rotate to get to a safe position, and that was utilized very nicely by the Broncos. I also think it was a disengage attempt by the Northwood Omen. It wasn't I'm going to paranoia you and then engage. And unfortunately, we do lose Ririana, so Broncos now down to just 2 agents left standing. Lots of util being dumped to find them as well.
Ooh. Rip Benji, just 2 good peaks. Bringing his up to a 3K. Excellent, excellent work off of that tour de force. A lot of value. Now the op has switched hands. Boise State wants that momentum that they just got back. They just want a little bit more of it. They are going to big push here. It's the tour de force out with a full eco.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
This guy's also buying that shorty amp full shield. I'm here for it.
It makes sense. Yep.
You got 2 options. Find me at long range or I pull out the shorty.
Northwood here just loves taking space. It looks like Boise State is going to try to fight back by being there first. They do take that one, and now A is totally open, absolutely empty. Hopefully, yes, Skies is in the right position. They were just not ready on a big eco round for that ult to be right there. I mean, obviously they saw that he had the ult, but that was just a critical flank guard considering that Northwood, playing so forward on C site, decided to rotate aggressively through Boise State spawn. Now, they've got to take the site. Let's see how they play on attack.
I really think the Broncos have, they responded quite quickly. I mean, it took us a little bit of time, but they responded well to the blitz playstyle of Northwood. They just don't know how to fully sustain through it here at the end. It's a matter of being ready for these multi-directional pushes and multiplayer swings that are coming out. The firing squad's going to be posted up, so you also better have a firing squad prepared.
Northwood with a pretty clean take on that one. Just a little bit of utility to move the breach out of hell and then take him in the corner where he was uncomfortable. Then a little bit of an ult bait game here as Dip was looking for something funny hanging right around the corner, but here's that ult be popped and wants to play a utility kind of time game to force the trigger on that one. They're going to take it again. It's looking 7-1 for Northwood. Boise State now positioning more towards C. We can already see Northwood just chomping at the bit, pushing those buy time gates. Already utility is out. We see very forward. Mariana, though, takes it. A good 50-50 crossfire. Skies to bonus it up with another one onto Ollie. Looking good there. Dip, though.
Broncos need to be careful. They need to push forward and get through this corridor on C quickly. Otherwise, they're going to get pinched off.
One enemy remaining.
The behind flank is coming. They did. Skies anticipated it, though. Nicely done. Does pick up one and finds the other. Rip Benji is trying to play the rat roll as well. Goes down. Broncos find win number 2. Still down 5.
It was all there in the first couple seconds. The problem with Northwood's, well, really the risk that Northwood takes when it pushes for space very strong right up front is if you break that, and we saw that the round beforehand on A as well, the site behind is totally empty. And then all you've done is, instead of making it into a pinch play, it is just switched attack and defense. Boise State just has to take the land that they've claimed and then buckle down for the defensive side as the other, as Northwood's other pack has to rotate all the way from the front of the wrong site. So they don't want to play the numbers game this time, though. They're standing very default. Hopefully, Boise State thinks it's because Northwood has been punished here and won't play that forward, that high pace. Just going to bait some utility here. Aldum, after that utility dump, feels like there's been a small retreat. Boise State now pushing up in C.
They knew that there was 2 in garage. I do believe the Rolling Thunder picked up. Yeah, it helped them get Mocking, but Darkus is going to pick up J-Bag, and Rihanna goes down to Ali. Skies is going to be taken out by Rip Benji. Some unfortunate chamber-on-chamber aggression. So Skies is the victor of that one. 2-on-3 with the fade. Dip is very low on health. They are like, you tickle them toes and they're going to die.
Ooh, a good one for Skies.
Oh, no!
He's very quick. There was no reposition. Dip already had the info, trying to play through the wall here for one. And Dip is just sitting on top of the spike, but Daimyo finds it. Good work.
Like I said, you tickle them toes. 24 health, that's a kneecap and you're done.
Boise State now has the creds to move up to a nice full buy. Bringing the op out again, a little bit of a gamble. Mocking, always slow on the buy.
I think Mocking's just trying to throw everyone off guard, even their own teammates. What am I gonna buy, huh?
Yeah, Northwood in kind of a soft save here. They don't want to force too hard. They've got a good creds for some players, and some players just don't have it. So Boise State, this is where they really want to make this turn. If not the next one, Northwood should be coming on pretty strong.
Now, Util did give Daimyo some intel, knowing that there was someone right there. They try to pepper some damage. Dip trying to return the favor, allowing Darkus to swoop in through window. But that could be an unfortunate position for them if there's a Bronco waiting to return the favor as soon as this smoke goes down, but it looks like they're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's getting a little twisty here. People moving in onto grass, and Darkest is still up top. He's going to make a peek pretty soon. He tries to play with that flash, but that kind of gives him away. They're playing through the wall here. Takes one that goes too wide. Omen now on the TP. J-Bag gonna finally be the one to find Darkest, trying to take care of Dip. Excellently done.
That Nightfall just giving so much information over toward the side of Northwood, but they didn't capitalize on it as well as I thought they would. They are in a 3-2. Broncos trailing by 1 agent currently, and health pools dwindling for one of our players. Our Daimyo is still full health. They are okay, but could get a little bit sticky here as we try to push into A site. Doesn't look like anyone's really prepared from the side Northwood to rotate towards A. It looks like they're going to play the slow game, as unfortunately trademark did go off, so they know that they're going to A.
Yep, they were comfortable with a retake scenario here all at once. So Northwood, even though they had one player kind of post up in Heaven, he actually left Heaven, but not to go to another site, just to watch from a distance. So they want to come in all together and strong here. Our best chance for Boise State then is to pick them apart and make these isolated 1-by-1s.
Ooh.
Boise State going to move, yeah, straight off and wait for those audio cues. As it comes out, they're going to jump in. J-Bag finds one, but Daimyo goes down. And Northwood closes it up. Rip Benji to find the last one and get an easy defuse, bringing it to an 8-3.
Mocking did like a very unforgiving, very forceful push there using those blast packs to get in position. Gave away some intel, but I think the Broncos weren't ready for the full squad to be posted up there against that wall.
Last round before the swap, Northwood kind of paced it out. They had a light buy last round. Now they look like they have enough to go a little bit stronger.
Broncos, unfortunately, they're going to have to go with the buy what you can, and 2 people go with like a Stinger or a Spectre, and hopefully they do a duo push with 2 of those people so that if someone goes down with a nice gun, the person with the Stinger can pick up a nice gun. But it's not even necessary. Aldum finding one and picking up a gun from the other side.
He is low health, but that is a good bonus. They're going to move right in. Northwood actually just sends in 1 player without waiting for reinforcements, and it goes down immediately. Darkest, maybe a little bit too hot feeling. Goes down. Boise State feeling good here. Daimyo finds one before going down on a good trade. J-Bag finds his one. Northwood, only 1 left. It's Dip. He could be anywhere. So they've got eyes on everything. Spike gets in.
Just play time. That's all you need. I mean,
Yep.
Dip is scary. We've seen that before, but Dip is
Wow.
calculated. But the Broncos really needed this. I mean, going into the second half, being 9-3 is a bit of a rough situation. 8-4, it's doable. It's just going to take some time on the side of the Broncos.
Yep. We get the first taste at another pistol round here. We get to see our boys on the defense. Interesting the way that we've seen things set up so far. Northwood really likes its just very high pace gameplay, and they like the clock to be on their. They like to be the game to be on their clock. So if Boise State can play in a way that will upset that, I think Northwood will kind of lose footing.
It's setting that play style, but it's forcing the Broncos to play into it. But I think the Broncos are slowly starting to respond. And it just took a little bit longer than we would have liked to have seen, but Aldum goes down to Dip very quickly. Unfortunately, that's 1 down for the Broncos just inside garage. We still have our fade posted up in there. Let's see how this goes. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh!
A good attempt at some entry utility there, but it just wasn't timed right. Daimyo comes flying out and finds Dip. So the trade is there, but it's a 4v3. Darkest looking to play against Rariana. I don't think he saw the TP, but I'm sure he expected it. So he moves right out. Northwood now bundled up, ready to go for a little bit of a split onto A. The audio cues are out as they come sprinting in, so Skies looking good. Tries to find one, just can't be there. Darkest 1 taps before he can.
That's so
And as the plant goes down, Boise State has 2 off-site.
Ooh!
Mocking, yeah, Mocking goes off on his own and tries to swing peek 2. Peek's advantage is just not there, so Benji will be the first one they see on their way in. Rariana takes it no problem. Hopefully they can continue to swing together. They got to multitask these angles, so they put up a nice smoke. J-Bag.
There's the ping there from J-Bag to where... yes, Rariana, they got that ping. The info was given, but now this is, are we playing for time if you're the Northwood Omen? Are we going to go for the full stick? We got to
Finds the half,
yes!
stands up and takes it.
That was beautiful. Absolutely incredible. The inhuman reactions. I got to finally use that voice. Thank you. Thank you to anyone that gets that reference. That was spicy though. Thank you.
Yeah, a well-timed play there as he's able to find the half and stand right up for it. Little bit scary when it feels like he abandoned the other guy as they were multitasking angles to go off through the smoke just for an unexpected play. But that smoke to isolate the angles and kind of give the other player to his teammate was good. He really did clutch it up there, especially performing well after watching his teammate go down to the 2-2. Daimyo now is going to be the first contact as Northwood comes in full 5. Just kind of probing out, just feeling things here. They haven't committed too hard, but Spike is down a ways. Darkest looking around, going to take the orb.
Lots of entry util being used, lots of intel being given out as well.
Northwood losing some health here. Finally, one goes down. Another follows. 3 now. J-Back and Rariana take the site by storm. Rip Benji, the last bastion for the site.
Yes!
And found from the back as Skies is able to work around and find Rip Benji under no cover. And it is a clean round from Boise State. That's going to be good on the eco.
I can just see that pendulum slowly going back in the favor of Broncos right now.
Yeah,
They could be
8-6
so
is a
happy.
lot better. And I mean, if we, what is it? It started as an 8-4, so far both of the starting rounds have gone to Boise State. Things change a little bit at round 3. We start to see bigger guns come out.
Yeah, it is that. It does tend to be that bonus round. You don't need to buy anything, but this is where some people do make that decision to do exactly what we see the Broncos doing here, and that is do a kind of staggered. Some people pick up the Spectre, some people pick up the heavier weaponry, and you group up and you make sure you don't lose the economy that you just spent for those nicer guns.
Yep, it's a big force here.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Northwood coming on strong onto C.
Oh, no.
They did not talk about C very much in those pistol rounds, but now they're moving in. Mocking.
Yes.
Just bad timing from Mocking Rariana to take it from the back. And Dip, though, finds Rariana in reply. They own this site now. Boise State, 4 players looking to move on before the plant is even totally out. So they take Darkest entirely by surprise.
My gosh!
Daimyo to find a third one immediately after, and it's just too good. I don't think Darkest was expecting at all for them to push on during. It has been a very respectful, I'll wait for you to plant, I'll come back on, you know, we stand in straight lines.
I'm going to make you feel safe.
To aggress the site during the plant was not something, and I think it was just the good rotation, just because Boise State was still so together that we've also seen people try to aggress the site one at a time. We saw, I think it was Mocking go down 2 rounds ago when they were in on the defense and just went down immediately. So it was Boise State being able to group up together fast enough to hit the site.
And I do think we are taking a quick timeout. I mean, after that, if I were Northwood, I'd want to take a timeout as well. That was quite some spicy gameplay coming out from the Broncos. That was pretty gosh darn good. I think that showed great patience and discipline on the retake. Truly, I thought they did take down the plant before it actually went completely down. Just in the nick of time. They'll manage to get just, I think, what is it, 300 credits for that the spike plant?
That's a shame. But, yeah, you talked about the pendulum kind of swinging back over this momentum changing. A lot of times people like to take their break, their tech pause during a big momentum change when they feel like either they're making a lot of ground and they want to think, how can we secure this? Or they're losing a lot of ground suddenly, and they're not losing the match yet, but it is kind of upsetting to see the entire pistol kind of segment of the game go just so cleanly to Boise State.
Upsetting if you're Northwood.
Upsetting if you're Northwood.
Us, not so much. I'm here for it.
Darkest is back in the game.
Oh, we had a
Small
yeah,
DC.
it looks like it was a tech pause, not a tactical pause.
Shame.
Or
A little bit of both.
yeah, I was gonna say a little bit of thank goodness
They
moment.
they don't stop you from talking while you're tech paused.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Hoping that things keep going in the direction they are for the Broncos. Of course, you know, I'm allowed to be biased up here. I am a Bronco.
Boise State with a little bit of a force buy here.
I wanted to say this on desk, but Riot Gun, buddy. Okay, I'm good. I'm
Looking
satisfied.
nice and slow. Pacing is just jiggles. They're just going to feel it out.
Roomba bot comes in for nothing.
Yeah, little boom bot that's not even on the right part of the site, as we just saw an absolute just utility dump just to kind of fake things out. Slower push into B. Northwood's pacing here. It's feeling a little different, but Boise State can accommodate for that.
The full retreat there out of garage, but no one from Northwood has decided to push in there, which is interesting.
Yeah, they're just feeling it out, just tasting. It feels like they don't want to lose anything here. Like they really want to see a flawless.
They're pushing a lot of stuff out towards the site instead of going up into. It's interesting. They just wasted util, and the Broncos ain't even there.
And they spent more util just kind of probing A. They're okay with having a very gentle default here, keeping the spike in the pocket and just feeling things out. Right?
Yeah.
They can rely on their gunplay here and let the util give them a gunplay advantage. Dip now, showing his ankles was not the move. Do not walk when you have the angle disadvantage. Dip was so close, just nose to the corner still, didn't get to see anything, and his whole shin was being shown off. Really bit it on just not having that fundamental down. Boise State still looking clean. Give up the sight so they can come in with a nice full force re-hit. Good util placement in the corner, but it's not followed up on fast enough, so Rich Benji's going to find Aldum. Skies now, how appropriately, watching from the top, looking for something, sees the beanie of Ollie, but Ollie takes his third kill instead at Darkest for the fourth. Northwood, they take a point.
9-7, still definitely not an impossible feat for the Broncos to conquer. I mean, we're within a 2-round gap right now. Drastically different than where we were at the very beginning. So, signs of life, there's a lot of fidgeting coming out from the Broncos. Definitely have the opportunities here. I'm going to count that as a one-off. The technical/tactical pause might have disrupted them a little bit. They are going to, it looks like, do a slight save around here, a half save. Yeah, going with light shields. One.
Aldum, a slow shot there. Tries to punish the jump, sees another two, decides to retreat, mocking. Follows straight up, gonna play pretty aggressive, and wow, what a check.
Holy
Totally
cow.
sees Daimyo on that one. That's watching the footage. I mean, it is not looking good for Boise State on this push. Ali getting in for the plant. J-Bag finds one. Hopefully he can keep it moving. These two are separated, the Boise State. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Oh, Skies sees one, but not the one that was aimed at him. J-Bag on so low health. His only chance is to get an outro, and it's not there. Mocking. That's only Mocking's second kill. He played so fast. But everyone followed him in, too. So he only got one kill, and it was that one big, super aggressive blast pack in insta-turn.
I'd like the record to show, though, the Broncos, that was a save round for them.
Was a save round for them, but look at the creds. Even after a full buy, Northwood is feeling good.
It is quite painful to see that economy disparity between these two teams. It seems like Northwood is capable of changing up their playstyle from just kind of a patient play, realizing it wasn't really working, into the defense of the Broncos, instead going for this full, very forceful blitz style. Aldum finds Mocking and Dip. That is what we needed. Northwood gonna drop that Omen ultimate, see if they can get some intel. Did not have the spike, and spike goes down to the operator from Skies, who's just peeking that long angle. This put things heavily in favor of the Broncos yet again. Don't be caught with your knife out.
Yeah, he's playing pretty far forward. Northwood, though. Rip Benji feeling comfortable here. Finally gets back on the site. Boise State still all 5 alive. Looking for a flawless here. 2 ults on the board. Now 1 as Ali takes Daimyo. Aldum does reply, but Benji so far forward, just looking for some kind of muscle berry. Gets double peeked, and J-Bag's going to be the one to take it. 1 player short of a flawless, unfortunately. It's all right, though. J-Bag, it's an easy defuse. He's going to pass it off for the right ult creds. Hopefully we see that tour de force coming out soon. Maybe it's a little bit of BM.
Bestie, you gonna start that defuse?
Just a little bit of BM.
You good? Come on. Come on.
Just letting him know.
Don't hit the gritty.
Just reminding him.
Stop hitting the gritty. Stop. Stop. Come on.
Just feeling it out. Just feeling it out. Wants to make sure everybody got a chance to put their stickers down.
Look at him. He's hitting the gritty for the Ukraine.
Boise State now. Look at that ult. Econ. They can pull anything whenever they want.
It's coming back to the Broncos.
Interesting one, though. After that win, Skies is going to be holding on to an op, so I doubt we're going to see that tour de force come out. Rariana's ult is so situational, it's hard to plan for one unless you've got an IQ 200 play in the book.
I mean,
I would...
I'll give credit to Rariana to have one in the book.
What I'm expecting here is... Oh, wow. Never mind. I might be wrong.
What did Scott... Okay, no, that was a Northwood.
Yeah. Northwood bringing out that tour de force. They're going to play nice and streamlined straight into B box.
Like lemmings, and they just gave themselves away.
Yeah, so a little bit of a rotation here. Boise State not afraid to rotate the extra space all the way around. They do find skies. It's unfortunate. That's an op out of the game, or rather off of Boise State hands. Northwood backs off. And they have to back off because Boise State had some big retake utility here. So I can imagine Boise State backing off and then wanting to retake the site with an ult. But if Northwood can read that and wants to hand off, yep, sure enough, the Rolling Thunder's going to come out.
I think we might see Nightfall as well come out. Yes, we do.
Alley to find Aldum. Still in all the util chaos. Boise State, a few VAL. Darkness playing very forward, looking for something. It's not going to be him, it's Mocking. Mocking is not afraid to peek. And finds two. Yeah, no, Northwood. 3 ahead. After that op down, we're going to see Skies bring out the tour de force.
You can see here just patiently waiting, trying to survive the flash. Unfortunately, just a little too blinding, pun intended. And we got Mocking picking up 2 for themselves. That kind of quiet player finally coming in and showing off what they can do for the side of Northwood.
Tour de force out. Boise State playing a little bit more together here. Pushing forward 2 on A.
Northwood gonna use the Nightfall very quickly. Mocking pulls out. Showstopper doesn't get anyone. Gets
neither.
in the slow.
And Darkest tries to play forward as well. Rariana absolutely shutting this down. A defender for the defenders. Those aggro plays are not good enough, but only when he's completely blind does he get caught off guard by Dip. All the playing from a distance takes 2 just for free. Oh, just another day in the aim labs. Aldum's going to try to follow up after this boombot. Probe is shot. He's got to peek on a Dip. It's just not his clock. As the plane goes out.
It's not planning for long sight, which makes sense considering you're 1v3. Are you really going to plant for sight from long? No.
Wow.
Oh,
excellent.
What?
Excellent. Paint shells just milked him forward. That was a great use of the paint shells as a molly.
200 IQ.
And then he had both players, backing him up in the box. That's a nice one. That's the right way to do it. Boise State going to take another, kind of keeping the gap here. Nice and tight. We've seen it flux between 3 and 2 up, 3 up, 2 up.
I'm anticipating an overtime.
I don't want to see an overtime because if there's an overtime on map 1, we could be here all night.
Yeah, valid. I did just check the time. That's fine. I don't need dinner. I'm totally joking, by the way. Kind of.
Northwood with a nice default push. A little bit forward here, higher in the pace. They want to get the energy back. They have their smelling salts. They made it through the box here. Dump a little bit of utility just to feel it out. Rariana's the only one holding down C site. You got 2 in B as well as some utility. Rariana makes first eye contact. He's going to back it up after this utility comes out. +1 down long. It's Ollie. Not what I would have expected. Good positioning, though. Whether he knows about Ollie or not keeps him safe from the sight lines. They are going to push him out with the... Oh, but he TP's right out. Maki does find Rariana anyways. BSU J-Bag's going to reply. It's a 4v4, but things are looking loud. It's just a very util forward game here.
They planted for sights from long. Very interesting. Broncos come in. It was a 3v4. Quickly turned to 3v3. Multiple people stacked up inside garage. Aldum's going to go down, but doesn't matter. We've got this angle locked down. This is the create an extra body.
Oh, but coming in from long.
Yes! Putting the body in the way of Skies to get the D views. I love that gameplay.
Yeah, the body there. I mean, just watching this map as we see the chamber go down long, decide to go for a pinch play, and Northwood loves it. Northwood's map is on a swivel. They are not afraid to flank always at any time. So they go for it. Good understanding by J-Bag to take the bullet from Benji.
J-Bag just said, get down, Mr. President. That is showing faith and trust in your teammates and, like, communication on point to just say stick it and get in the way of anyone trying to fire on your defuser. Absolutely incredible.
That is nice, and it closes up the gap here, too, in 11-10. We're looking for the equalizer. Mocking, playing as forward as usual, gets greedy, takes a little bit of damage, clears out the box, but it's not enough. Boise State still feeling strong. Hold on C. Gives it up to rotate a little bit towards B after we see them retreat. We know it's going to be an A push, so teams may arrive to this a little bit tighter than we usually see them. Dip going in for the plant. J-Bag already above. Hopefully we see some utility from Boise State to really retake here. Sure enough, a good paranoia followed up with a nice paint shells. Dip to find one. Daimyo and Alden, there one.
Alden with the one death kill. BSU, we're going to lose 2. Mocking's going to find 2. Dip does take down J-Bag, so we're at 12 and 10. Oh, I know I said it earlier. I seem to curse every single Valorant broadcast I'm ever on. I'm sorry in advance, but we're looking at overtime.
Yeah.
Greg just sighed very heavily.
Boise
it wasn't fully audible.
Boise State needs to take their 2 here to bring it up to an overtime now. They don't have any mistakes left to make, right? It's hard to say, oh, we'll just take a save round here and then come back strong, because it is already 12 points for Northwood, and they have fought through the mud so long. So we're going to see some very big push saves here. We already see the judge coming out. We already see some SMGs, meaning that Northwood knows. Oh, Mocking, flying straight in. Rariana, yes, doesn't get greedy, but goes down anyways, trying to dive into the smoke. It's not looking very tasty. Boise State, only 2 left alive. Try to play forward. Aldem. J-Bag stays alive a little bit longer, but it's not enough. 1 player left at Skies, and they're hunting him down. Northwood takes game 1.
All right. Well, next one I do believe will be going on to Breeze, but before we hop into our next map, I think everyone's going to be able to have the opportunity to take a quick break. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we are. Because 12 games, if we go 12 map series is a lot. Well, that was like what, 23?
Yep.
23. Yeah. So 23 rounds. I think everyone needs a quick break, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes with our next map, which is going to be Breeze, and that's the Broncos pick, so let's hope they picked it for a reason.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at Count.com.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of the NACE Valorant Fall 2022 season. Boise State is looking to pick up their first win against Northwood as they look to secure a spot in the bracketed national finals. I'm your host, Artie Rain, still on desk with Greg Smith. We just saw an unfortunate, so very close, but of course it's only close enough, only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So Broncos walk away with a map 1 loss, and we're about to go on Breeze, attacking first. What do you anticipate we'll be seeing for the Broncos, considering what was working for them on our first map of Haven?
Ooh, a nice, solid defense. When it's our turn to defend, and obviously, Valorant just intrinsically has this kind of nature of switching between attack and defense within each round. Because I mean, once you've got the spike down, then you have to defend it, right? And we've seen a very, very forward, I don't want to say aggressive, but aggressive play style coming out.
I know Doc is seething right now.
It's a tough one, but they just are, by the definition of the word. They love taking space and holding on to it loosely. Right, they are really going for quantity over quality here with the space they take.
My concern is the response time from the Broncos to the very greedy playstyle that we have coming up from Northwood. The adjustments, they were happening. They just took too long to happen. I think that's ultimately what caused Haven to slip through our fingers. If we're able to respond faster after what we experience here on attack, where they like to post up and perhaps go for, quicker default pushes, taking a little page out of Northwood's book, we might have some success here, but ultimately it's up to them. And as you mentioned earlier, Northwoods has a deep roster, so we could see some swaps as well, which could kind of throw some wrench in the plans of the Broncos. And before we even jump into the game, we're going to take a quick recap of Doc's keys to the game in Valorant, which are focus angles and the flanks, know your win condition, count cards, call abilities, and of course, click aheads. Doc's keys to the game are presented to you today by Drop In Gaming, which is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition, play your favorite games to win cash and prizes in both free and paid entry events and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Take a quick look at our players on stage. Coach Moore up there right behind them, giving them a pep talk, telling them what to expect. Hopefully they are ready to go. We might also get a quick peek at our roster, which of course, unlike the side of Northwood, will not be changing. And yes, of course, we have a solid squad, so why would we? And your roster today is brought to you by Count Identity Trust Global Network, who delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for over 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Check them out at account.com for more information. Best of luck to each and every one of our players going into this map. After all, it's our pick, but I feel as though Breeze is definitely a defensive-heavy map. So if you can break through that defense initially, get the plant, even if you don't get a lot of picks, the defense then becomes that swing back towards, like you mentioned, you then play defense. Heavily favors the attackers in that regard, but you really, really need to make sure you can break down the defense of Northwood first.
Yeah, and if we keep seeing this kind of give the attacking site the ability to plant and then just hang on to that plant for a while before you really come in for the attack, instead of a quick rotate, then you're right, the attacking side will get that chance to kind of breathe on its defense for each round, but we can't upset that by over-rotating, because we love to see them, or they love to just go for a big wide default and use that utility to just kind of poke places and feel things out first. So I think this matchup is going to be a lot of what does it take to get into a plant defense really locked in.
And it does look like the side of Northwood did not choose to pick up any of their other roster players. They stuck with what they had. It worked. Why change it? Both sides do have that Viper. We are going to have Sovas on both sides. Everything's identical to Jet the Chamber. But the one thing that will not remain the same is the KO for the side of Northwood going down.
Yeah, Northwood already had Mocking, just kind of peeking around. Mocking really likes to see things, really likes to get out there. Boise State coming in with a quick rotate, looking for A instead. Northwood, a horse again, taking the space they can. I think greedy was the right word for it. Sometimes they take more than they can hold. Daimyo coming right around, playing a little bit of ring around the rosy, unfortunately goes down to dip. We do have that plan out from J-Bag, though. It's a 3v3 now. They've got to come on to Boise State's defense. Aldum watching in the back. The noise cues come out. We've already heard that shock dart. He's got great angle on it and finds two before going down. It's a team ace.
That was gorgeous. couldn't ask for anything more. With that being said, pistol round first goes to the Broncos. Now let's see what Northwood can do in response. Will they equalize this and just win their own, win the second round? Or are the Broncos going to get a bonus round and have to judge things a little bit from there on out? Because bonus round on our last map in the second half is where things kind of got a little shaky for the Broncos. They got momentum and then they lost it. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, Boise State looking to get a good buy to move on up. Interesting.
2 marshals for the side of Northwood.
Mocking and Darkest pushing hard. Those are not either of the 2 people I would expect to have a marshal either, and I definitely wouldn't want to push on to be with it. An interesting call, Aldo, to find one. J-Bag and Daimyo as well. They're hurting for another team ace here as Boise State kind of shuts down the Northwood push.
Holy crap. See, sometimes this is why flipping the playstyle and playing as though you are the one attacking is a bit strange. I don't know what the plan was, having 2 marshals and then everyone just swing in.
Playing very forward. No, hanging back on A, sure. Hanging back on B, a little strange. But aggressing on B with the marshals, defense, both of them, neither one of them your duelist.
And location revealed because they couldn't get the dart because they're using a frickin' marshal. Rest in pepperonis.
He does find one, but the reply is out. Daimyo to take. And he got that plan. So Daimyo's looking good. It's going to be a bonus up for just Daimyo. Otherwise, it's going to be a full buy for Northwood.
So I said it earlier. Creativity is great. Doing the unexpected. But when I want to use the term creative as an insult, it's not. It wasn't the right play.
Yeah. Yep, Northwood. Trying to pull something out the Book of Rhymes there. Does not quite place it now.
That's one way to put it.
Playing a little bit more central, a little bit quieter on this defense now. They're going to pop out into their play positions. Boise State now moving right in. The Owl drone goes down pretty quick, so someone's watching the front gates.
Ooh, all of them, though. Didn't check the corner there for Rip Benji.
Nope, J-Bag, though, is going to walk down the tunnel instead. Goes to open this door just to apply some extra pressure. Quick knife just to check the close corners. Quite a few people hanging there. Skies to find one, but gets traded by Darkest. Dip finds one as well. Only one left. It's J-Bag, the only one who hasn't been on site yet.
Be careful, J-Bag.
Yeah, looking at this spike drop, we know it's going to be right on top of it, but he's pretty close. He's just going to look for a couple.
You got this. You got this. 2v4. Oh, no. The knife. Oh, no, no.
Knife finds and suppresses him immediately.
Gosh,
so they get a nice double swing. 2-person peek onto him. Easy take there.
That's okay.
Good of him at least to not save, to try to get the spike, to try to run out of there. Because a 1v4 defense is just almost impossible. And after the marathon to the other side's a rough one, too. He was really just looking for outros.
Yeah, trying to just shake up the econ of the side of Northwood just a little bit more. But now Northwood is capable of full buying. Though if they lose this round to the Broncos that only bought 2 half shields and 1 Spectre, that'll be a little sad and a little rough.
Oh, Mocking. Oh, that's a rough one. That's a little bit too much screen time. I feel like Mocking's aim is better than that. Darkest going to find his too. Mocking playing very forward, looking for another one. Sky's considering something cheeky here.
Don't do it, Sky. Don't do it. Sky, I beg of you.
Does not go for the drop. Instead, he throws some utility down just to feel it out.
Good, good, good.
Dip moving straight up forward. Spike is absolutely isolated. Mocking does not check the corners, and he finds it. Daimyo doing well, but Ollie replies on the take there, and Skies. They've been staring at it.
I heard a giggle from
and there
Sage,
he is.
and I think it was it was worth a shot. I agree with you here. Way too many bullets were fired. That aim seemed a little bit off.
And Skies just spent a long time thinking about that drop.
Maybe just going to ropes or rotating all the way back would have been the play.
So unfortunately, his support was not there. When, yeah, you're right, rotating around would have meant he would be there to reply onto Ollie's catch and could have picked up the spike, maybe planted B, but unfortunately that's not what happened. Boise State now pushing up A. Going to drop one of the ults to try to take here. They're going to grab 3 people to start Darkest. Just a good multitasking of those angles there. Checking one, saving, checking the other. does find one and gets to control his position. Rariana with a good peek finds Ollie, but Mocking trades it. There's been a lot of good trades out here. Northwood does a good job of packing their people together. Darkest tries to play forward, and it doesn't happen.
Pop flash from J-Bag doesn't find anybody. I think they know where Mocking's at, considering they just saw Daimyo go down, but it doesn't matter. Mocking flicks over, finds J-Bag. One thing I wanted to point out was, yeah, we've got that Viper solo holding over on site B, but they're doing that. They're being very patient with it. They're only dropping the smoke util, and they're waiting for wall to. They're not using it until they know which site has been committed to, and they're using for either re-engage or to lock it down, which is I'm really enjoying seeing. Broncos, though, are kind of using it on engage, which can give away a little bit too much information. Perhaps trying to bait using it is the way to go. At the end of the day, I'm not the Viper player. I'm just the Sage main.
Right on into the next one. You see a good buy coming out from Northwood, and their ult economy is looking good. They can probably shut down a push here with that. Actually, they have a couple different options with their ults here. They're going to bring out the Tour de Force, though, if they want.
Okay.
And they're going to hold it right in the center.
Right from Nest. That's where things
You
get a
want
little
to
bit rough.
play? Let's play.
Yeah, Boise State going to lose one fast to Mocking.
Response with the Tour de Force from the Broncos as well.
Mocking, appropriately named on that duelist, just loves those first bloods. And Boise State's going to be punished if they don't recognize it. Boise State replies. Tour de Force out. Low health, though. Ollie to find Daimyo. That's 2.5 down for Boise State. It's not looking like a good round.
Yeah, our chamber, Skies, has little to no health, but Dip does go down, so down goes the Sova from Northwood. They still have 4 people standing. Darkest threw out that Molly. Didn't get much info from it. Didn't even take damage. They didn't go for the crazy play. J-Bag goes down. It's now a 2v4, so both people need to pick up 2 apiece. That's a 1v4. Skies goes down, unfortunately, so let's see here. Can you get a 4K?
Mocking plays high and tight, totally takes care of him. Darkest from the support actually gets the kill on Rariana now. Boise State has the cred for a little bit of a buy, and they are just chomping at the bit for it. Northwood, on the other hand, just swimming in money. Are just going to go for a full Vandal pick.
Man, what would I give to be swimming in money? So unfortunately, my bank account looks similar to that of the Broncos here right now for our Valorant squad. Moment of silence there. I appreciate it, guys. Mocking, of course, you know, we got to give the Jet the operator.
Yep, and he's hungry for the first bloods, takes a quick one.
My util, my ult, Dip is angry, deal with it.
Yeah, Dip doesn't like it. Mocking and Ollie find each of them another one where Rariana finally replies. Oh, just looking for one, barely. Daimyo's going to find it, but hidden in that corner behind some very thin walls, goes down. And it's a very quick one for Northwood, despite Dip's grievances.
Why are you complaining when you're winning? I don't get it. Whatever.
Boise State, after that, kind of push by, is forced to save here. They're going to go with a nice, you know, op lookalike outfit.
Marshal?
The one Marshal and the all Sheriffs.
Truly, it comes down to crosshair placement there. And after we saw some great...
Oh, yep.
Dang it.
Dip one immediately
Dip,
onto
why do you have
Aldum.
to do that?
Absolutely no sound.
I'll be honest. I thought it was going to be Jet on Jet with the snipers. Not the
Oh, this
Sova.
HUD, the Headhunter does
Did
get
they
one,
just trade?
but that's some same frame business there. Yeah, a good
Yikes.
trade as Dip finds one. Northwood now, one player up on a 4-3, and the spike is still in pocket. Nice little camera reminder.
Thanks, guys.
We get the spike down announcement as one finds it. Rariana to get one, and Ollie replies on a take.
Oh,
Mocking sees him. He doesn't want to take the knives are out. Falls back, but the site is being guarded now. Playing against Ollie and Mocking here.
Tailwind was burned. Oh. Dang it. Oh my gosh. We get it. We got it. Mistakes were made. Okay, 6-2. We're hoping to at least get 2 more in favor of the Broncos before we close out here on this first half. 4 and 8 is definitely a better scoreline. We saw earlier. We saw the shift come and definitely at the halfway mark for the Broncos. Though I would love to see 6 and 6. Is asking for 4-round victories in a row too much? I don't think so.
Skies has just enough money to find an op here, so dying would be painful. He does not want that. Boise State on a big buy here, down to the last penny. We're going to see the ult come out. They want a nice strong take here. It's playing very together, and the time is right. The weather is set. Only one person watching B, and it's from a distance. Skies now watching this cross side is going to find one. A good set, unfortunately. 2 go down to Boise State, but 1 is just a knock. Maybe they can get to this respawn, but they're going to have to take care of Dip first. They're going to avoid the Owl Drone. May have to forfeit the brother for it.
Oh, rest in peace, our KO.
Yeah, playing right on top of him. They have to respect Dip. And they are putting in so much for this round. This round is their pivot, but it's not there. Even after dropping that Toxin, getting that Viper's Pit, there was no reposition. They played forward and just muzzle buried to find the defense win.
I mean, I'm not going to say the thing I was going to say because it's too tacky. That being said, my wish of the 6 and 6 scoreline is now gone. But we could get a 7-3.
Gonna have a timeout here. A lot of considering to be done as they're gonna be looking for
some hydration.
Yeah, some hydration. Just kind of shaking it off, looking for a way to reapproach this. It's looking a little tough. It's looking uphill. You said it was a very defensive-sided map, and if they approach it that way, if they treat it that way, then that means they're, you know, an even half isn't a fair half, and they could be okay with an 8-4, a 7-3.
Well, the
9-3.
thing, I can't math. The thing that is important to point out here is that there was a huge adjustment from the side of Northwood. They were playing that we are attackers, even though we're on defense, very heavily in the beginning, and kind of not giving due respect to the Broncos and their abilities, and it bit them in the heels. They learned their lesson, they stopped, they adjusted. They started playing a lot more passively and waiting for the util, waiting for the engages for the Broncos. So that demonstrates the power of playing this map as though you are actually on defense when you're defending. So that gives us the hope here for the Broncos to swing this back in their favor. But Rip Benji is being very creative on top of Pyramid right now with the Odin.
Unfortunately, it's not going to get any recognition at all because they're not even going to look at the windows. They're going straight to B. They've got a wall set up here. And they're playing B to center. So they're going to try to take care of this nest here with a single. No, they keep dumping utility on it. They do not want him to come through nest, so they go for the rotate. They go for B back. 2 players now on B.
Ooh,
PSU Skies takes a beautiful one on a Mocking. Skies taking a page out of Dip's book, playing in the bottom, that cheek spot. Something clever. He's not going to get any more action for the game, but Darkest from a distance take Daimyo. Spike is down. Oh no, Dip to find J-Bag as well, just from a distance. Aldum has got to fend for himself here, hoping. No, Rariana and Skies both go down on their perilous treks through mid to get to B. Aldum makes just a wink of eye contact. A little self-flash gives him a chance on a Darkest. Darkest repositioning is good enough, though, that he takes it, and it's a smooth defender win for Northwood.
This is getting a little too close for comfort. Am I going to, you know, I'm not going to say anything until the half actually happens. Mocking going with the Odin. Dip going with, okay. We've got 2 ops, 1 on each side. I'm here for it. The question is who's going to really have the advantage here is my question. It's getting very quiet here on the Western Front, and it's getting concerning.
Northwood with 8, Boise State only 2 points, looking for this last one before the half. It's going to be full buys out. Very, very bright play style here as we see 3 of Northwood still holding A. Boise State looks for the rotate. Good timing there.
Oh, man.
Toxin screen down.
Yeah, when Northwood has adapted more of a steady holding down playstyle, you've got to always be checking the angles on your sprint to the other side. You still have a minute left.
You got time. That's the other thing. I know it seems like there isn't any, but ooh, the fake plant. Bring around the
Mariana,
Rosie.
yeah, with
Come
a
on,
good bait
come on.
plant, tries to find
Ooh,
something.
Finds Mocking, actually. Didn't expect that.
That is good, but then Darkest coming around as well.
Last round before the switch.
All right, come on. 9-3 isn't bad. It's not what we wanted, but we can make it work. We've seen worse. It's doable.
Boise State bringing out the tour de force, as well as a Marshall. Skies is really feeling the op game here. Otherwise, it's just...
The op game?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, he wants to play long range. Usually I wouldn't make my sidearm another long range. Goodness, Northwood playing very forward here. Ollie picks up the spike, no problem. Skies does get one with the tour de force.
Come on, come on, come on. Peek, be greedy.
He,
Come on,
oh,
dip. Come
wow,
on, dip.
good
It was Ollie
turnaround. He
instead.
finds it.
I'm here for it. Let's go.
Just one left. It feels good. No reason to fight here. So both teams rotate to B side.
Fake it. Don't go all the way. No, stop. No, stop. No, go back. Go back.
No, there's too much util. They just don't want to play in that mess. They would
That's
rather a clean new fight onto one person. Hopefully they play together here instead of having Mariana force in first and go for a spike. No, it's a bait here. They want both. It was good. It totally worked. I would have felt for it. I didn't think they were going to do it. Boise State takes another ace.
Switching sides.
I'm happy with
9-3.
that. I'm so glad I didn't have to say 10-2 curse. All right. Please let me be right that you guys have this defense on solid lockdown. You're not going to play overly aggressive. You're going to give due respect to Northwood, and you're just going to play some good, clean Valorant here. Please. Please. I'm begging you guys.
Boise State shaking down their default hold here, just figuring out the last position, setting up the utility right before the gates go up. 10 seconds best on the clock. Let's see how this pistol round shakes out. So far, Northwood, I think out of our 3 pistol rounds so far, Northwood's taken 2 of them.
I think.
I think so.
They are hard pushing onto A site, though, which is interesting. They just have one lurker over towards A. It's just going to be their chamber. Mocking already using a lot of util to get in. Skies, I think, is revealed by that location dart. Yeah, they are getting pressed on there by Mocking. Mocking goes down. Ali goes down. Skies goes down. Broncos up by 1. Northwood's basically down their KO as well. You sneeze on that robot and they go down.
Red Benji, though, just gets beautiful positioning and takes 2 from the back. They just did not respect that avenue. They thought it was all 4 up front. Dip now on the walk around, takes 2 for free. Just walks right through a defensive wall and just takes 2 of them.
Gosh dang it.
That was just positioning and gunplay. Northwood took that one.
Mocking.
Yeah. Mocking spending every last penny on an Odin instead of any kind of shields.
I mean, we saw 3 Marshall picks out there from the Broncos for a moment, and truly I was hoping that was what they're going with, because that range can overpower that Odin as long as they play slowly and play for retake if they lose the site.
No, it's going to be 1 Spectre and 1 Marshall to fight against this big push. The Marshall does find 1. Skies. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get the kill. Gets a hit off, but not enough. Just playing through the dark here, hoping for something. Northwood can't really afford to push through it, so they've got 1 person long. Mocking makes their way through and gets nothing. Skies to find 1. Oh, no, on a drop down. J-Bag gets some damage, but it's not enough to find 1. Ollie takes him, and they've got the plant coming out. Finally, Skies does rid of Ollie. Now just 2 left. Dumping some utility. Boise State, Rariana's the last one here, and he's playing against so much. The good ADS, but they play through. Attackers 11-3. This is not looking good.
It's still a 0-0 scoreline. I know we've been here for like an hour and a half. Still 0-0 scoreline, guys. You have all of the Red Bull you could possibly need coursing through your veins right now. It's time to bring it back.
Boise State going very long on this one. A little bit of an anti-eco considering the cred disposition.
I'm down for some Guardian gameplay.
Yeah,
Let's go.
2 Guardians, 2 Marshals, and a Bulldog. looking to play against Northwood's rinse and repeat style gameplay here as they go for another A.
Ooh.
Skies takes a fast one on Darkest and TP's right the heck out of there. Several people still pre-cave. They're considering a rotation here. Oh, they've got one way up in tube, though, about to make some contact.
Hold up, is that Viper? Okay, I thought Viper was going to chill out outside cave there and just play. They were playing lineup Larry. I'm judging you
Ooh,
heavily.
Skies gets a good shot towards Ollie, but Ollie finds it. Daimyo does reply for the trade, but ooh, very top. Stands on top, not the call mocking. Pays for it. Rip Benji does move back around to find Daimyo. On this corner, some utility. Rip Benji finds J-Bag.
Benji did get silenced, so their location's revealed just briefly. Broncos, well, our one Bronco, Aldum, he knows that there's someone there. Hopefully that was communicated. Dip uses double util, does get the location reveal. Aldum at 26 health. This is going to be a rough retake.
Yeah, and if he can't find this, if he can't get both of these kills, then Boise State really has no options. Yeah, Rip Benji to take the fourth one. Aldum goes down after just trying to get these two. But just what a game of whack-a-mole he had to play with the Sova there. The Sova finally pinged him after the dart seemed like it went too far, so he had to get out of the way, behind some high pen walls, on the drop back down. He doesn't know if there's a reposition. It was just a difficult situation to be in. Now, speaking of difficult situations, Northwood, a 12 on Boise State's 3.
This is, if we are to see the Broncos come out on top, that's not an easy task. That is a minimum 11 rounds of straight wins.
Rariata bringing out the judge.
Oh!
Ooh.
The trade. Oh, Leon Darkus, though, immediately dashing every hope I had for a few moments. Boise State really has to clutch this one. 2 on 4, that's 2 apiece. They're going to come straight through main, trying to get some pepper damage out as Darkest. See if that does anything. Ali, was that necessary? I guess you want to lock down a site. You have Spike, but
They just do not want any kind of momentum change here. They want to take this win immediately. They don't want to give Boise State the chance to buy up Darkest. Unfortunately, a little bit of a trap there. Sky's fast on the keyboard, calls him out for it. Just clowning on him. That Viper's pit goes down, and Skies, what a crossover. Jumps over him and doesn't even see Ollie go through the wall.
Yikers. That was not what we had hoped for, but it could have been worse.
It's all right. They will see each other in the Red Bull game, top 14.
And with that, Northwoods, you managed to close out in this a 2-0 sweep. Nicely done. Congratulations to you guys. Look forward to seeing more from you in the future. Of course, this will not be, as Greg just so kindly mentioned, the only time that we'll meet. So going forward, good luck. And for those of you watching today and are interested in becoming a part of the Boise State family, Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast talent. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. And as we prepare to close out tonight, do you have any big takeaways, some humble words of advice for our Broncos on stage?
I think you guys did great. In general, accommodate to play style and punish over aggression.
That's a great way to put it. Before, though, we fully end things, you have a suggestion for player of the game? Because I've got 3. Do them quick. Do them quick.
No,
oh, shoot,
I'm gonna see what's out.
Aldum and Ririana are my other 2 guesses.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. I would put Rariana up there, but I would put Skies up there too.
I've got 3 right here. Ririana, Daimyo, Alden.
A
oh,
J-Bag.
J-Bag. All right.
Sorry, J-Bag. I feel like I
didn't mean to
underappreciated you now, yeah.
Yeah. We can't be right. We're normally wrong. It's okay.
That's how it is. Daimyo, J-Bag. Let's see who else it is.
One of us has to be right. Who's our 3rd? Come on. We're going to be completely off base, aren't we?
It is Rariana.
Okay. All right. I'll take that. Okay. Of those 3.
I would give it to Rariana.
All right. I'll agree with you on that. So we either are correct together or we're wrong together.
Yeah, my reasoning is just overall presence on the field. I know that he's the IGL, so he's going to be up on the mics whether people are down or not, and he had some good clutches there, some really intense times. He took that the 2v2 response on the Haven was big. He had good presence in the second game as well. But I'm ready to see who it is.
All right, so the question stands. Is it the IGL that's going to get it or one of the other two that the casters conveniently underestimated from the desk? No, we are going to be correct. It's going to be Rihanna. For our ICCU player of the game, the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game is brought to you by, obviously, Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Rihanna is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations. You can see that great pop-off moment we were talking about earlier. And I mean, just clutching it in moments where the Broncos really needed it, and that flick was absolutely spicy. So I'm here for it, just hoping to see more in the future.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Oh, just such good plays here.
Dodging the showstopper.
Mocking just loved the camera.
That's true. There's no other way to put it. Got to do something a little flashy to get that camera on you and then get doinked, to be blunt. All right, so that is going to close things out. Unfortunate loss for the Broncos. Didn't go as they wanted it to, but they still took some rounds off, and I think definitely stuck it to the egotistical play that initially started out for the side of Northwoods, forcing them to adjust, which is great. But from all of us here at Boise State, we're going to close today out with the top 5 plays of the game presented to you today by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. Check them out at IdahoArmyNationalGuard.com or on Twitch at iGuardGaming. From us here at Boise State, stay happy, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.
Gunplay, listen to audio cues, hope that someone peeks him, which might just happen here. Finds one with the knife out. He's looking for reposition now.
That crosshair placement was the clutch right there. Nicely done. Now we're everything else slowly. We hear it. Oh no, it's not even a fake because Pro's sticking and we're not going to rotate out fast enough, but we...
Here, instead of having Mariana force in first and go for a spike, no, it's a bait here. They want both. It was good. It totally worked. I would have fell for it. I didn't think they were going to do it. Boise State takes another ace. 9-3.
I'm so glad I didn't have to say 10-2 first. Fights from long. Very interesting. Broncos come in. It was a 3v4. Quickly turned to 3v3. Multiple people stacked up inside garage. Alden's going to go down, but doesn't matter. We've got this angle locked down. This is the create an extra body.
Oh, but coming in from long.
Yes! Putting the body in the way of Scott.
Just bad timing from Mocking Mariana to take it from the back, and Dip, though, finds Mariana in reply. They own this site now. Boise State, 4 players. Looking to move on before the plant is even totally out, so they take Darkest entirely by surprise. Daimyo to find a third one immediately after, and it's just too good. I don't think Darkest was expecting.
Yes, Rihanna, they got that ping, the info was given, but now this is, are we playing for time if you're the Northwood Omen? Are we gonna go for the full stick? We got to
finds the half, yes! Stands up and takes it.
That was beautiful, absolutely incredible. The Inhuman, yeah.